shit.
Introducing LT Defense Tactical Gear, your ultimate solution for top-notch protection and performance in the field. Our armor bundles provide unmatched safety and comfort, while our battle belts and holsters ensure quick and easy access to your gear. Stay prepared for any situation with our high-quality medical supplies, designed to keep you ready for action at all times. Looking to enhance your skills? Our firearms training programs will take your proficiency to the next level. Trust LT Defense for all your tactical gear needs and gear up for success on the battlefield.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Think of all that time. Every wait in the winter. Think of all that times no one else saw. Every sprint in the summer. Every sacrifice. Early mornings on the levee. Late nights in the film room. Bus rides to playoff games. Every bump in the road. Every moment of ecstasy. Every moment of doubt. Years wondering, is it all worth it? It's all led to this. Man, I got this. It's a 60-minute drive for a 60-minute game. After all the miles we've traveled, we're almost there. After all the hours we've worked, one more can make us legends. After all that time, this is our time.
I'm going to say if they play just the amount of games as the NBA, with the amount of hype that they have, if they just put some primetime games on after the NBA season, they would be a profitable company.
Looking to get it into Smith. What a pass! That's game! Cordell Smith with the game winner! Oh my goodness!
And that is why you have Aaron Fry pass the ball in. Your weakest link on the team, who is a complete liability,
is gone.
In the playoffs,
Out of there.
You lost nothing.
You know, people watch 90 plus minutes of a soccer game to watch Miami Dolphins Stadium get destroyed over one goal.
Yeah.
See, this is going to determine my running back position. The Bills. Ooh, I'll take Cook.
But we're going to get to our final play. This is absolutely the Duncan Summer League. This was just filthy. Check this out.
And they're trying to force a contested perimeter shot and keep it out of the lane. Wanda's Williams.
Till the final whistle. Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
You are looking live at Military Broadcast Radio. We are till the final whistle, boys, on a Monday football frenzy.
It's time.
It is elite.
It's time.
It's elite, boys. Football was awesome this weekend. Winners and losers.
Yes, it was.
them Broncos.
Denver Broncos running roughshod.
Yeah, they were.
Roughshot over the Atlanta Falcons. Saints won, Packers won, all of that and much more coming up until the final whistle. Monday Football Frenzy. Mercury, run down some scores and highlights for us, buddy.
I gotcha. Yeah. So a little recap of the NFL week. Thursday night football. The Eagles kind of exposed the Commanders and really showed that they have a lot of work to do if they want to stack up with other playoff contending teams. A 26-18 score made it look a lot closer than it was. That last touchdown and 2-point conversion came in garbage time after Saquon put up almost a $150 on the ground and 2 touchdowns, ran them into submission.
He scored twice in a minute.
Yep.
Pretty much.
The Pittsburgh Steelers, Baltimore Ravens, very classic Ravens Steelers, low scoring, defensive, 18-16 W for the Steelers. After their defense came up with a huge stop on a 2-point conversion play that we're going to have to talk about because I'm not really sure what the Ravens' plan was there. But the leg of Chris Boswell and that Steelers defense gets them the victory. The Jaguars went into Detroit and they hung tough, only losing by 46 points. Jared Goff was just putting up a performance on my bench in fantasy football. Hard to pull on the play Goff over Joe Burrow with the season he's having, but 412 yards and a touchdown and 4 touchdowns is gonna that one stings a bit. The Rams had a little bit of a scare with the Patriots. I kind of like Drake May, though. I think that guy's going to be a stud. If you can just get him some weapons and a better offensive line, I think he's got arguably the worst situation of any rookie quarterback. You have a bottom 5 offensive line in the Patriots.
He's struggling.
He got Kendrick Bourne back, I guess, this week, but it's like, I mean, there's no guy there in the Patriots receiving room that really makes you like shiver, but yet still he's putting up stats. So hung tough with a really vaunted Rams team. LA does come away with a much needed victory for them, 28-22. The Saints, man.
Yeah.
How about them Saints? Who they?
Yeah.
They are killing it with Darren Rizzi. Second win this week. Coming away with a 35-14 victory over the Browns. We'll have to talk about that a lot. You got the Taysom Hill legacy game going on this weekend.
On my freaking bench too. You
had
Jared Goff. I had Taysom Hill drop 45 points on my bench.
It happens, man. We got the Colts beating the New York Jets in MetLife. Course, I would trust Aaron Rodgers again, and I pick him, and then he lets me down. It's just, I can't with this guy. We're gonna have to dive into this more too. Anthony Richardson, some impressive plays. You'll see it in top plays here, man. Lowering the boom, some shades of prime Cam Newton just running over defensive backs to get into the end zone. Colts come away with a 28-27 victory. The Vikings, it wasn't always pretty. They kind of got into a dogfight with the Titans there for a while. Tennessee still has a really good defense. I mean, they still one of the top defenses in the league. They're not getting talked about because their team's terrible. But a lot of their losses are coming like they're just they're losing like 23-20 like this game or 20-17. So they're in a lot of their losses, but just not able to finish in.
First 2 weeks they were leading in the fourth quarter, and then they lost those first 2 games.
Case in point,
offensive touchdowns.
Vikings get a victory here in Nashville. The Dolphins, they are alive.
They brought it back, man.
Those fish back in water, and they got some movement. All right, beating the Raiders 34-19. The offense is starting to open up. We're starting to see some of that explosiveness return. Of course, the guy that caught the long touchdown this week was, Jonnu Smith. That as a Tyreek Hill fantasy manager, that kind of hurt to watch. I was really hoping I'd see number 10. But yeah, the Dolphins still alive, getting healthy, looking better and better each week. Time for a late season playoff push for Miami. We're going to talk about that. The Green Bay Packers.
Let's go.
They own the Chicago Bears.
Let's go.
Jimmy's he's going to talk about this plenty. Bears Packers week. He's our resident Packer
It's-
fan. So this big game.
It's not
for
much
him.
to talk about. The
Yeah.
Bears choked it.
They did.
The
They
Bears stink.
they joined the Broncos in knowing what it's like to lose on a blocked field goal against a hated division rival. So
At least that didn't happen in Mile High, man.
yeah,
That happened to him.
Oh,
That
in
did-
the field. You got hometown
happened
fans
at
watching.
home. Yeah, I mean,
Looked like there was more Packers fans
You
on the
could-
broadcast.
It's
than,
about 50-50
Yeah.
usually.
You could
It's-
pro-
it's a
you
lot. We
you
traveled,
just
but
could
we
feel though
traveled.
like the whole city of Chicago just like
We still suck.
lose it. Like yeah,
Oh no, we suck
Suck
again.
Yeah,
They
Back-
thought they had it,
back to
and
square
then
one.
and just back to square one. Caveman.
like
Yeah.
negative
Great
1,000.
so it
They're on square like negative.
and what's scary for the rest of the league is Toyotathon Jared or Jordan Love hasn't really come out yet.
Dude, it's
So I
got a
mean,
long time.
take our time.
Toyota
ease into it.
17th.
yeah, no, it
Packers
goes
have done
until
this for a long time.
January of next year.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Matt LaFleur with Jordan Love undefeated in December. No big deal.
all right, well, speaking of the Broncos, just an absolute domination of the Atlanta
Great
Falcons.
game by the Broncos, man.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins just got smothered, couldn't do anything.
Good to
Every-
take the lead. He's not a comeback quarterback.
No, he's
You
good
put
if
him in
you've got a lead, but
situation.
yeah, with and he's kind of a statue back there, and with our pass rush just teeing off on them all game,
yeah, he had no
He got-
option really.
it got rough. Drake London got locked down for the most part, so another victim to the Iron Certain.
That was my best sit. I had Taysom Hill on the bench, but man, Drake London
Ooh,
wouldn't have done
yeah.
anything for me. So I'm glad.
Yeah,
I still have a
it's-
chance to win my game.
There you go.
Put Drake London on the bench.
Yeah, it's that's a black hole for fantasy points when you go up against number 2 down there in the Mile High City.
Yeah, no kidding.
Through the Seahawks with a big win over division rival San Francisco
An
49ers.
upset win.
Upset win in Santa
Covered
Clara.
8 points.
Geno Smith,
Covered.
Called game.
he called game. I mean, people, I think we
On
forget.
4th down.
This is like a-
Ran
And he ran it in.
He's like a 34-year-old quarterback, and he was flying down the field. Still got the wheels on him.
What kind of defensive formation were you running, Sanford? You protect the goal.
when they're that
Exactly.
close. Yeah.
The game's over if they get a first down anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They can stop the clock. Like they had timeouts. Like, give up the first down. Don't give up the touchdown.
Come on,
It was
San
crazy.
Fran. Yeah.
They just melted down. They were like, no, we don't want to win.
So that really
That was
hurts San Francisco's postseason chances. I mean, it's a
It's
a
there's
cluster.
There's a lot of football left,
It is,
but it is a
but-
cluster.
I
With
mean,
the
it's
Rams
tough.
winning, you went over the Rams game. I'm
Yeah.
assuming, yeah, buddy. Okay, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna just
shakes
run down
up
this
the
division real
NFC
quick because
West.
it's kind of wild. Arizona leading at 6-4, LA 5-5, Seattle 5-5, and San Francisco 5-5.
yeah.
Muddied at the
it's-
top, and Arizona has
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
competitive. Arizona's they're starting to get more and more comfortable leads on their division foes right now. So on the bye week this week,
yeah. They go Seattle, mini Seattle. That's kind of crazy.
that'll definitely be a tough stretch. That'll test them a lot. But
And then they go on the road to LA December 29th, and then their last game is home against the San Francisco 49ers. That could be a wild card
Oh.
determining game.
Yeah.
it could
you
could
know.
or potentially for the division too.
Right.
Like,
Knockout, right?
yeah, like, who knows?
Good point.
All right. Well, our final 2 matchups. The Buffalo Bills, they freed us. They finally stopped the Chiefs' devil
They
magic.
did. Thank you.
They deserve
Thank
it.
you. Thank you.
Josh Allen
thank
played
you.
amazing. Patrick Mahomes
Thank
did not. But Mahomes is all right, but he had like a real awful interception to start, and then threw another terrible pick to end the game. And Josh Allen, another QB, just calling game and putting the team on his back. Incredible run. We're definitely going to have that in top plays. You'll get to see it again if you missed it. So the Chiefs 9-1, their first loss since Christmas of last year. Don't look now. The Bills 9-2. I mean, you thought losing Stephon Diggs,
Yeah.
the defense, lost some guys, and
Like
they ha-
everybody on
yeah,
defense.
they had a lot of cap hits, and it just is like They didn't have a ton of cap space, and
They're out their rookie wide receiver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like,
You know,
I mean, I thought Buffalo would still be a good team. They still had a chance to win the AFC East, but just how dominant they've been. This is like Josh Allen's best season.
I think Josh Allen's like got to be
Ever.
a front runner for MVP right now.
he has to, because he's really like the turnovers are way down from what we're used. Like,
Yeah, the main
100%,
thing that
yeah.
everyone says that's bad about his
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
He's done
and
the
he's
opposite
still.
this
I
year.
mean, the touchdowns are still there, but now the turnovers are gone.
Yep.
And yeah,
leading the boys with nothing.
I mean, he really is putting it.
I mean, there's not a guy over there where you're like, well, yep, I'm scared of that. Like, there's no Pat Surtain over there.
Nope.
You know, there's no Alvin Kamara like in the backfield.
I mean,
it's
I
still
like I like James Cook, but yeah, I don't
he's
know.
not
if
Alvin freaking
I don't
Kamara.
think he's that. Yeah, that level, no, for sure.
I could take the second best player from every team in the NFL and add them to the Buffalo Bills right now
pretty much.
and be better than like their number one wide receiver was Curtis Samuel last week.
Yeah.
What are we talking
I mean,
about?
yeah, he's getting it done with Khalil Shakir,
Right.
Yeah.
Curtis Samuel, Matt
Like,
Collins.
All respect to Matt Collins, the barefoot bandit, as they're calling him on Twitter.
Yeah.
He's awesome. I love the guy. But let's be serious.
He just likes to walk around with no
You
shoes.
know, let's be serious.
It's just definitely not a
Some big
number.
catches from the barefoot bandit on third
Yeah.
down
Yeah.
yesterday. That third and like
That's
14,
their
like
possession
another
guy this
their
year. They're just
possession guy.
putting it on his back.
He's not doing too bad.
I kind of like that when the teams like the Chargers, good example. We'll talk about them in a sec. But just teams that don't really have the big name guys, you can.
get it
It's
done.
an NFL player still.
Just get it
Just
done.
put him
Yeah.
in a
Shout out
position
Ken. Is
to do
Ken
well.
Dorsey?
No,
It's
what's his-
old boy Joe Burrow's offensive
Joe
for him.
Joe Brady, right?
Joe Brady,
Joe
yeah.
Brady.
Yeah. I wonder if the Carolina Panthers are kicking themselves.
Can you hear the back
For a
guy?
lot of stuff.
Anyway.
Yeah, the Panthers are kicking themselves for a
Panthers are
lot of
just a
stuff.
dumpster fire.
Like they're just putting guys, not the biggest name people, and they're giving them
It-
a position to succeed
Yeah.
and compete.
That's
It's,
all you want,
it's
man.
really
That's
coming
all
down
you
the
really want.
coaching. Yeah,
Really
it's
is.
great coaching because it's like, yeah, it's not, and yeah,
I mean, that
you
was
can-
the theme of the week, not to cut you off.
Oh,
but
yeah,
I
sorry.
think this is like the theme of the week is like, if you have good coaching, you win. If you have bad coaching, you lose.
yeah, and I
It's
think
kind
you,
of crazy how it's working out.
you
this
can
week.
see this whole season where it's, I mean, like the Bengals, star-studded, man. I mean, and they've got the league leader in passing yards, passing touchdowns, receiving yards, receiving touchdowns, and sacks, and they're 4-7.
Yeah.
And it's
right.
like,
Yeah.
it's like, I mean, you can have studs all you want, but like ultimately,
They
you're
really
gonna have
gave
to make
away that game yesterday.
you're gonna have to
They
make the
really
right
did.
calls. Yeah.
Did
Well-
nobody want to run the ball in the last like 3 possessions of the fourth quarter to like try to set themselves up for?
They were all passing.
It was everybody was just chucking and ducking, and I'm like,
And all those drops by the Chargers, dude.
Yeah.
They almost lost. Both teams.
well, nobody wanted to win. I think we said in our group message like, who's gonna like?
Nobody wanted to win. the
Nobody
game.
wanted to win this football.
Well, I saw somebody say last night that I don't. This made a lot of sense to me. I don't know if it made sense to you guys, but this was the most Chargers Bengals game I've ever seen.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah,
I mean, it
The
really
total
had
went
it
over,
all.
So there was a lot of points.
Yeah, I mean, the Chargers get up to a 27 to 6 point lead, and you're like, oh. Then all of a sudden the Bengals start coming back, and you're like, oh, Chargers gonna charge you. But then Evan McPherson, this guy, he's been bad this year. He's like some like a lot of one score losses that the Chiefs have or that the Bengals have had. If he had just made like some more field goals, they could have been different.
Like literally a field goal,
The big
Just
one,
yeah.
like just one field goal.
the big one against the Chiefs, man. They lost that game by 1 point, and he missed an extra point in that game.
Yeah, he
Oh.
did.
Against the Commanders,
Yeah.
he missed like 5 point loss. He missed 2 field goals in that game. Against the Ravens on, I believe it was Thursday. Yeah, the Thursday night football game, missed a field goal in that one, and then he missed 2 field goals tonight. That could have, taken the lead and put them up by 6, and then kind of forced the Chargers to not, to have to throw the ball. And then you could have just sat back, let, Trey Hendrickson and Sam Hubbard tee off on Justin Herbert.
And they kind
But
of were.
instead, you left the game tied. You let Harbaugh get to his run game, and then J.K. Dobbins rips you for a
Finished it off.
touchdown.
Because what's really going on is their defense is just so bad. They're letting Will Disley just dice him up.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert's gonna layer in a pass to Will Disley for a touchdown.
And I
That's a top play.
I know
by the
Ladd
way,
McConkey had a
but
couple catches for the Chargers, I don't know, man. I mean, you just literally put a hand on the guy, and he's soft as Charmin. He will trip over his own feet. If you leave him running wide open, he could probably catch the ball.
Yeah.
He didn't really show me, and then like you just get super conservative at the end of the game. The last drive of the game, they got super conservative on defense. No pressure. They were just letting him just drop back there and hang out.
That's when he made his best catches.
He really,
to the end of the game.
And it's just prevent defense. Oh, keep it in front of us. No explosive plays downfield. It's like this is an explosive play offense. This offense wants to matriculate the ball down the field. That's John Harbaugh.
You got to come up there. You got to get.
You gotta dictate the terms at the line of scrimmage.
Make them prove that they can go over the top on you.
Exactly.
Because I don't know if they really have that ability.
Yeah, that's. That's a really you just
like the only time I've really seen that from the Chargers is when the Browns were just like leaving guys like wide open 30 yards down the field, and that's like, well, obviously they're going to score on that, but I mean, can they make that play if you're actually covering them?
Probably
I don't know about
not.
that. I don't think so. Yeah, I mean that like the Chargers, you're playing right into their hand, which was a great point. Like they want to put together long sustained drives,
milk the clock,
play
into their defense. Let them get healthy and rest up, and then so many teams lose football games instead of teams winning football games. And Zach Taylor, I don't know, kind of looked out coached at the end of that game.
Yeah, I did. I mean,
with 3 minutes and 57 seconds left, you had those last 3:57, the worst coaching job outside of Chicago.
Really
was Zach Taylor's end of game plan for the Cincinnati Bengals. You come all the way back, like down, like, well, I think it was like 18, 17 points. I can't remember exactly what it was. I'd have to look it up.
It was 27-6.
Yeah. So like basically you're down 20 points and you come storming all the way back. Big touchdowns of T. Higgins, Jamar Chase for the touchdown. You come all the way back. And then the last 3 minutes, we're going to pack it in.
Yeah.
Not good. That's what gets you fired, especially with a coach.
I think his seat's got to be really hot.
I would assume so, man.
I mean, what's the excuse? I mean, you can't
really keep this guy around like you kept. That I can't remember what that dude. He was there forever with Carson Palmer and Ocho Cinco. Marvin Lewis. Marvin Lewis. They had him for like 15 years and like regular seat, go to the playoffs, collapse, just out-coached, outgunned, couldn't do it, couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
Don't make the same mistake twice, Cincinnati. Just don't do it.
I think their defense has gotten really young. I mean, they've lost a lot of those corners out and secondary guys that were really good for them on those playoff runs that they had, right? The offense is still good, but it's like the defensive talent level has just dropped. And I think for a lot, like, just all the talent that Zach Taylor had that was kind of covering up how bad of a coach he actually is. Because
once they got figured out this year, man, they might be scoring all these points.
Shout out Charles.
But all you got to do, man, is put up 30 plus on the Bengals and you have a shot.
Yeah.
It's not hard to do.
It's not hard to do. Oh, thanks, Charles.
Hey, thanks, Charles.
Shout out to Amber as well.
Good meeting you.
For coming
shout out Amber.
Thanks for coming into town.
Into the Weeds podcast, MBR Radio. Check it out.
I mean, the Bengals are now they're 2-3 in games where they've scored 33 points or more.
Yeah.
Like the rest of the league is 63-3. Like those 3 losses are just the Bengals.
Yes, man. A lot of weird records broken. There's one loss is added to an unbeatable streak, it seems like.
Yeah. I feel for Joe Burrow, man. Like he's having an MVP type season, and he's just getting crushed.
Yeah, right.
I want to give like a shout to his toughness, man. I mean, he's like, this reminded me like of like what I've heard of like Dan Marino, where he just would stand in there and just get crushed.
Oh man.
I mean, Burrow is taking a beating back there, dude.
The end of Drew Brees' career in New Orleans.
Yeah,
guys were teeing off on Drew Brees at the end of his career, dude. I felt bad because that's when you saw his arm issues come up and concussions.
Dude, did you see Burrow?
Shoulder injury that pretty much hindered him out of LA or San Diego at the time.
Yeah,
that he fought off his whole career, had a huge streak of not missing a game after that injury.
Yeah,
and he can't even throw a football anymore. He says,
yeah,
his shoulder's so messed up.
Yeah, it's rough to see.
Joe Burrow.
He
Yeah.
took like a 350-pound lineman. Like, first of all, like helmet just hit him right in the face mask,
Squared him up.
and then the guy landed on him with his full body weight.
That like the last play.
And
there's
Burrow just
18 seconds left
Houston.
when they
Oh,
just
it
got
is
the ball
Houston.
for their last possession. There's 18 seconds left from their own 25. He steps up in the pocket and throws that back shoulder to Yosivas, like right across the 50.
Yeah.
He got destroyed on that, like right when he
Yeah.
threw the ball too.
dude, he is taking some licks.
And shout out to the rookie Yosivas for contorting his body for that catch. He was running across the other way and like completely
Came back
turned
around.
back around.
Yeah.
Like they had another chance to win the game just because of that play.
Yep.
It was crazy. I thought they
Mhm.
were gonna win off some crazy Hail Mary pass. It was like
I thought they were going to be half smart cavemen and just like, oh, we got to, mature, start clock control. Why come out after that intercept? Because they got to pick.
Yeah,
Come out and run the ball.
exactly.
And you can milk the
Chase
clock
Brown
out.
was having a pretty good game too.
yeah. It was
Hmm.
Look.
He had it was like 86 yards on 22 carries. So I mean, not
horrible.
nothing like gangbusters, but it wasn't. He was doing a
Same on
solid
a
job
first
of like
round.
moving the
Dude,
moving the
Cincinnati
chains.
Bengals had 34 minutes of time of possession. Chargers had 25 minutes of time of possession.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Joe Burrow chucked the ball 50 times for 356 and 3 touchdowns.
No
and you
interceptions either. Didn't turn
Yeah,
the
no
ball
picks.
over. Like,
I mean, you chucked the ball 50 times, though. I mean, you're in it. I mean, but they were down in the game, so you have to throw the ball to get yourself back into it.
when you're down 27 to
20
6.
Yeah. 86 yards. Joe Burrow had 28 yards rushing. So that's 100. That's over 100 yards. That's what you're looking for. T. Higgins, 148 yards receiving and 1 touchdown. Fantasy owners are happy with him.
Dude, he was
Bounce
on my
back in.
bench.
Oh, no. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
That
sucks.
Man, it is. I played that
That sucks.
that bum Debo Samuel over him. It's like that was a mistake. I mean, we'll see if like the Bengals, like, what's their strategy now going forward? You got like about a 10% chance
You need a lot
to
of
make
help.
the playoffs. Are you going to be able to keep
A
T.
lot of help.
Higgins? Like, yeah, you need a lot to go your
They should
way.
have traded him 2 years ago, but
Yeah. Or traded them at this deadline, man. I mean,
They
'cause
should have traded him at this deadline.
I don't know. It might be
Sure.
time to
they're
start
gonna have
thinking
an
about the
interesting
offseason.
stretch. The last stretch, not to cut you off, Pitt. They're going to play the Pittsburgh Steelers. They have the Dallas Cowboys. Then they go to Tennessee. Then they are home against Cleveland, home against Denver, and then on the road against Pitt to end the season. Those basically the Steelers games are probably going to be their toughest games on paper.
Yeah.
But at home against Denver, I think that's a favorable matchup. If they were in Denver, I think it's a favorable matchup for Denver.
That'll be a tough one for. I mean, that depending on where they're at. I mean, that definitely could have major wild card implications.
100%, especially with the Denver Broncos, and we'll see how they do against the Chargers to end the season. For the
Exactly.
Broncos, but that AFC Broncos in firm control of making a playoff spot.
Exactly.
Yeah, we got
third in the AFC.
3 AFC.
They're
West
6 and
teams
5
trying
on
to
the
make a
year.
run.
6 and 5 on the year with Vegas, Cleveland, Indianapolis coming up. Then on the road against the Chargers, on the road against the Bengals, and then at home to end the year against the Kansas City Chiefs. AFC coming down to it. I think the Chargers, could 3 teams make the playoffs?
It's a possibility. The Chargers
Could
do have a
happen.
real tough stretch coming up, if I'm correct, though. Obviously, the Bengals, that was a big challenge that they had to get past.
Yeah.
I think they got Baltimore coming up as well. They got to play Kansas City and Arrowhead again.
Tampa Bay,
they-
Denver, New England, Vegas.
Tampa.
They got Atlanta December 1st in Atlanta.
Okay. Oh, that'll be interesting to see what
It's gonna
what
be
Falcons
very-
team shows up,
Very interesting.
because we've seen Falcons team that looks like they can score on anybody, and then the Falcons team that just collapses like a house of cards the second you
They're
get
gonna be
physical with it.
They were going to be the 4 seed for nothing this year.
Yeah.
Watch that, guys. That's going to be the Cowboys last year. You're looking at the Falcons this year is the closest parity to it. Is there? I mean, not even really the closest thing because the Cowboys were dominant last year. It's just they're too spotty. As being a Saints fan too, I see a lot of them online just as a Falcons hater.
Yeah.
They're way too spotty. And Drake London as a
I
wide
think-
receiver one just really doesn't make sense.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've never considered that guy. Even Pitts as a number one tight end, like, no.
If
Yeah.
they're not,
I've
if they're
never seen
hardly
him
going to
good.
use the guys, then they're not a number one option on the team.
Well, I mean, they can try to use them, but like, if you just can't get open,
Exactly.
you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like, and your offensive line's just getting walked back into the lap of Kirk Cousins has a time, and then that's something different. But like,
Yeah.
if you're trying to play in rhythm in an offense where you're trying to, go 5, 6, 7 plays, those aren't the guys that are going to get it done.
No.
Drake London isn't a difference maker. Where like DB is like, oh, I got to make sure Tyreek's speed or like an elite route runner or
Exactly.
something like that. Like, oh, he's in a run. If I'm in zone, I'm on Ross St. Brown, just run, against man, awful zone coverage, elite. Funny how that works, and then I just don't know what the Falcons, man. Like you said, spotty. I think their rookie quarterback, Pettis, got into the game, didn't he?
Penix, yeah, he did.
Didn't Penix
I don't
get into the
think-
game a little bit?
He
Yeah.
had 4
I don't know
passes,
if he did anything.
two completions, 24 yards. It was pretty late in the game. It was
They-
just like garbage.
They let
time.
him throw on his first drive, and then he got sacked. I think he got sacked, and he also like took a shot. They had to punt. Then when they got the ball back, they just started turning around and handing it off.
Yeah,
And that was at the point where I was like, all right, I think they've officially waved the white flag. They're not even going to try to score again. Let's
Shout out Mercury. He was
get outta
at the
here.
game, and the Atlanta Falcons fans just leaving early, man.
Yeah, they were. There was. I want to say like 9, 10 different like Falcon fans just in the section around me, and yeah, by the fourth quarter starts, you like look around, and you're like, oh, that red and black's gone.
Yeah.
That's crazy how that works.
Was there a lot of Falcons fans at the game? Enough to like see and notice?
No, not really.
No,
It was you look out into the crowd. It was
It's
like a
pretty
sea of
much all
orange
them.
and
Okay,
blue.
cool.
Yeah, I always try to like pay attention to the different jerseys and stuff while I'm there at the game and like
Yeah, totally.
So you always, and like there was a guy sitting in the row in front of me and like a few seats over wearing the Patrick Mahomes jersey. I was like, what the hell are you doing here, man? Get out of here. Then they're
Probably
like,
just wanted to wear a jersey.
dude, I saw
I
a
got
number of
across something,
people
yeah.
with Vikings jerseys on. I saw a guy in some Steelers gear.
Interesting.
Saw some, like you always know this, like there's just people wearing just
The most random.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
random sports stuff. Or it's like, all right, these teams aren't playing. It's like they're just throwing on something that has like a football team or jersey.
They're just
But-
matching football.
Like I think I saw somebody who was wearing the Denver Nuggets jersey. I'm like, well, that's at least a little better than just like
Yeah, that's fine. And
showing
you're
up
right,
in a
it's blue.
Green Bay
Close enough.
Packers.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Packers green and yellow.
I'm already like I'm not a big jersey guy. I never really have been. When I was a kid, I had like the throwback Emmitt Smith jersey, and that was like cool. But I've never been like a big jersey guy, except for baseball jerseys. I think it's a little bit different. I grew up playing baseball.
Baseball jerseys
And
are nice. Though,
they're-
too. Like
they're
you can
just-
like wear them.
Yeah,
like,
you
with
can
your
like wear
like
them
an outfit. Like it's
exactly. So like
it's
football
crazy.
jerseys, I've never like really gotten into, but like I remember I went to a Packers Bears game one time, and like for whatever reason, I was with my dad, and I was a kid, and for whatever reason, there was like a bunch of like Oakland Raiders fans there. And I thought it was like the most odd thing.
It's weird.
Like
Yeah.
like the silver and black was like representing
that
in Chicago. It wasn't in Lambeau, it was in Chicago.
I was
It was
Pretty
in
sick,
Dallas.
like-
at least though.
of all the like random
is happening?
NFL team jerseys I saw. Like I saw a number of Packers jerseys. It was weird. I
At
think
the Bronco game?
yeah, I think I saw
I
like,
know
at
we
least
travel
8.
and we're out here. Like there's a lot of Packer bars.
But no, I'm
in
saying
Denver.
I meant Vikings.
Oh, okay.
Like I saw like 8 to 10 people wearing
That's kinda
Vikings
strange.
jerseys for a Falcons Broncos game.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Hot take
Vikings-
on the Falcons, boys.
Yeah.
I don't think Kirk Cousins. I think this 4-year deal potentially be a farewell tour for the guy. Where the next, I think,
Farewell tour?
where the next he's just going to go to a
Signing
different
off?
team. He's going to go to another team. His last year is going to be wherever, and that's it.
They would be screwed on dead cat money.
I just don't see it. It's not. I don't
They
see it
gave
long
him,
term.
like-
There's no long term effects with Kirk Cousins. He's over 30. There's no long term effects. He's got a 4-year deal with a quarterback that they just drafted, who is an older rookie. And you pretty much have figured out this year that you're not going to get it done with Drake London. They're too spotty. Like
They really are.
getting a quarterback that can stand and deliver in the pocket to his guys wasn't enough.
No, it wasn't. They didn't use like some of the resources to go and get a pass rush. And you just see like it hurts them a lot in these games. I mean, like Bo Nix, he just sat back there and picked them apart all day. Like
they have a strong secondary too. They have big name players, Bates and Simmons.
AJ Terrell's not bad. He's a solid cornerback. And but
they just can't cover everybody for.
They're one of the worst teams in the league at generating pressures. And I mean, Cousins, like when you can get a good pass rush on them, that offense grinds to a halt. Because he's, nothing against him, but he's a 36-year-old quarterback coming off an Achilles injury. Like, your mobility is just not going to be the same. And it wasn't like he was already super mobile to begin with.
Yeah, no.
I mean, who's the other old quarterback we've seen coming off an Achilles that's struggling?
Aaron Rodgers. Aaron. All of that, much more to come with all of the breakdowns from this week.
Few more
top
games.
plays. We still got a few more games. Packers, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, probably one of the better games of the week. That was like one of the games that we were sort of looking at last Wednesday as like, man, this could be an important game to break down. We'll get into that one. Indianapolis upsetting the beleaguered New York Jets, and that fan base lift the bridges, put the curtains underneath the buildings on the skyscrapers. All that, much more to come until the final whistle. Military Broadcast Radio.
That desert sun, it burns my eyes. It burns your picture in my mind. It brings the chaos that I find. Feels like I'm running out of time. Silence of the night. I've got to ride 100 miles. 100 days on that front line. Feels like I'm running out of time.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
We are back. We are live till the final whistle. Military Broadcast Radio. Like and subscribe, follow, share. Let the people know the boys are here. A few more games that we want to get into. The Saints, 4-7 Saints, 4-6 Tampa Bay, 6-5 Atlanta Falcons. We were talking about the Falcons and the Broncos to end this segment. We're going to start on this segment with the New Orleans Saints. Caveman, the boys are buzzing. Winners of 2 consecutive games, still in the thick of it for the NFC South. I think you're going to have to win that division to make the playoffs. I do not think you're going to be able to make a wild card in the NFC.
Yeah, that'll be hard.
You're still right there, dude. Only back 2 games, man, on the division. 2-3 is your division record. Tampa Bay with a 1-2 division record. So there's going to be a lot of moving and shaking
The Saints
this season.
They do have a brutal final stretch. We do. They got the Rams. Giants is a very winnable game. Commanders, they have looked kind of human. I mean,
where's that game at?
That's in New Orleans too. That'd be in the Dome.
They've looked human, but at the same time, we're gonna have to put up some points on that.
Jaden
What do you
Daniels,
think, man? You trying to tank for a pick, or you trying to go on a playoff run here with with Alvin Kamara?
I'm gonna take your line here. As a co-owner of the team, I would love
it.
I would love to start the rebuild, man. Because everybody coming to this offseason as a Broncos fan, you guys were not happy for this season at all. At least majority of the fans. But having a young core and seeing flashes of success in a young core would be so much better than trying to win games with the interim head coach and $65 million in dead cap room. But as a diehard fan, as a watcher of almost every game, it would be kind of cool to see a Darren Rizzi Cinderella story, even if we're just first round exits in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Making the playoffs with the interim head coach,
especially with how the season's gone, being there would be special.
We lost 7 games straight and then make a random playoff run. That would be awesome. That would be crazy.
You lose 7 straight and then you make a run and finish 10-7.
That would be insane.
Because if you go undefeated, you finish 10-7.
Yeah, I would be kind of what
that would be
what
they would have to do. Because I don't think 9-8 gets it. I think 10-7 is going to have to get it in the NFC this year. Packers made the playoffs last year at 9-8. I think 10-7 is going to have to get it this year in the NFC.
The competition bumped up.
Bumped up a lot
this year,
and with the Vikings being better than they were last year, because when Kirk Cousins went down, they just had a meltdown at quarterback. They're still sitting there right at 8-2.
Yeah.
So it's I think 3 teams out of the NFC North are going to make the playoffs. Philly, Washington. The winner of the NFC South and the winner of the NFC West, and that's it.
Yeah, you do. I mean,
And
you
then
guys do play
6 seed LA
Washington,
Rams.
so you could helping yourselves out by beating them. But yeah, the teams ahead of them, they're currently sitting at 13th in the NFC standings and in the playoff picture. But the teams ahead of them are, the 4-6 Bears, the 4-6 Buccaneers, then the 5-5 Niners, Seahawks, and Rams, as well as the 7-4 Commanders and 7-3 Packers, the 8-2 Vikings. So it's there's definitely it's a steep mountain to climb. You probably would need some help from some other teams.
Yeah, we would need quite a bit of help if we wanted to do a wild card run. But I don't see that as a possibility. There's no more than one team from the NFC South is going to make the playoffs this year.
Right.
It's just from seeing how they've been playing in the past few weeks. You got a really spotty Atlanta team. The Buccaneers just kind of let all their guys get injured in a loss when they're already down 10 points.
Yeah, they're on a bye week, I think, this week, aren't they?
Yeah, they were. Excuse me. Yeah, they were.
And the Saints they have a bye week this weekend too.
That's
the Saints do. So we get a little bit of rest going into playing the Rams.
Yeah, the last little stretch run NFL season run before Thanksgiving going into Christmas.
Look, we were losing 7 games. It was week 12 couldn't come any faster. But now it's week 12 is kind of might boost us to get a little upset win on the Rams.
That would be huge. Because the LA Rams 5-5 sitting at the 8th spot.
That would help out some NFC West teams.
Yeah,
for
They
sure.
might scratch our back later on in the season if we get that win.
You're going. I
Ooh.
think what's going to be the key for the Saints. You guys are going to have to be able to put up points in that game because with how depleted the secondary is, or you're
Yeah,
going to
Matt
have to figure
Stafford, dude.
something out to scheme up
He
to
is
kind of
throwing it.
shut down Puka and the Cooper Cup. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Stafford's just been on a tear since he got those
Tear,
guys
man.
back. It was like he was already wasn't like he was playing bad, but I mean, he just didn't have like
Didn't have
these type of
guys.
weapons to throw to.
Yeah,
And
they're
like now
injured.
it's like he went from being like good to just absolutely shredding people.
Yeah, he was good with Demarcus Robinson and Tutu Atwell as his top
Right.
two guys.
And now, I mean, he's just
Now it's just-
unloading.
Now it's just Matthew Stafford
Yeah.
back into it. You just got to put some guys in a situation to succeed. Honestly, though, man, I would love to see a playoff run from the Saints, dude. Finish it out 10-7 with Darren Rizzi, dude.
What would you rather have? A little playoff winning out, or you're sitting at 4 wins, so you're probably not going to have a top 10 pick. You know, because there's 5 teams in the AFC with 2 wins, and then the New England Patriots with 3. You know, I just don't know if they're going to. The New York Giants are 0-5 at home.
Yeah.
I almost
crazy.
I almost reacted, and I didn't want to cut it. Dude, they're 0-5 at home.
No, there's no such thing as home field advantage for the Giants.
They're 2-3 on the road. They're better on the road than they are at home. And that crap field.
Horrible.
No wonder the Jets are bad. Their field's bad. That thing's they're
MetLife's
cursed.
the worst.
MetLife's cursed.
The league.
It's got to
hands
be
down.
cursed.
It was that after Aaron Rodgers got injured last
They got to
year
change the
on the
name of that
show.
thing and get grass out there.
There was over 30 lower limb injuries on MetLife since they changed to the
To the-
AstroTurf.
Yeah.
Over
And they had one of the
30.
best grass fields in football.
It did.
Woody Johnson. Johnson & Johnson. Shout out Pfizer.
Yeah, seriously.
You know what I mean? Hey, brought to you by COVID. Aaron Rodgers, anti-COVID. Let's sign the quarterback who hates my company's guts. Great idea.
Perfect. Smart move.
You know, let's get the anti-vaxxer to go work for, you know, the guy who made billions off of vaccinations. No, you know.
Wow, that wasn't a match made in heaven. No,
It wasn't.
no kidding. Huh?
The grass is not always greener outside of Green Bay, Wisconsin, folks.
But to answer your question, I would rather see a playoff run.
Yeah, there you go.
I would rather
I
see
like
a
it.
playoff run.
I like it. Be
I would
aggressive,
rather see
caveman.
us just win some games because we do have 8 picks. We could still probably get some good
Yeah,
players
I think
without a
what-
top
try-
10 pick.
try to make a run. Why not? You
Why
know
not?
what?
That would be really
Mickey
cool.
Loomis. He's also proved that he's found some real gems
All right.
in the draft.
I'm kind
So
of
it's like
it's been on the downhill slope, but it's like we were talking about, hard to maintain success.
crap. I
We
mean,
lost Drew Brees and Sean Payton.
see how
It's really
see
hard
how
to build
Rizzi
that
does
up.
as an interim head coach. Hey, maybe this guy's the
he's clogging toilets, dude.
maybe this guy's the future. Maybe
That's what you
we want to
need.
hire somebody else. You know,
Dan Campbell's biting kneecaps. Darren Rizzi
Clogging
clogging toilets. Let's go.
you need a
Let's
coach
go.
that's just being disruptive.
Just go on a run, finish 10-7. You know, make a 7th seed, and get cracked up by the Philadelphia Eagles. No big deal.
Yeah.
We'll do
On
it.
wild card
We'll do it.
weekend.
I love it.
You know,
If
Just
we
go
got
upset-
the Eagles in
Tampa
the first
Bay
round,
upset
man,
Tampa Bay upset the Eagles last year.
if
I
we
wouldn't
got
really
the
call that
Eagles-
an upset. The Eagles limped into the postseason as a wild card.
They did limp in. Well, yeah, the freaking Cowboys won that division last
They
year.
did. The Eagles lost that
Why-
division
what's it-
starting 10-1,
10-1.
and they went 1-5 down the
down the
stretch.
stretch. Yeah.
It was after that Kansas City game, and he goes, I mean,
Totally collapsed.
Sirianni's in
Yeah,
the tunnel. He's
Siri-
like, Chiefs fans, I don't hear anything now.
Yeah.
See ya.
Yeah.
And then
well,
the football god said, actually, say goodbye to your season.
Yeah, no kidding.
Season, see ya.
I like
That
it though, caveman. Go on a run, man. I mean,
Do it.
You know, it's tough.
Why the hell
A
not?
team that is going to go on a run, I think, a dangerous team, a team that squeaked by in another division matchup. Close game. Packers, Bears.
Definitely can't
Packers
sleep on
win.
the Packers in the NFC.
Packers
man.
win by blocking a field goal where they essentially could do whatever we wanted on offense. Let's just put it, you know, in the simplest of terms.
Yeah. Just
It
didn't have a lot of possessions.
Just didn't have a lot
but-
of possessions. Jordan Love only threw the ball 17 times. That's the lowest amount of, passes that he's had. Why isn't the game popping up?
But Josh Jacobs, was averaging 4.2 yards a carry.
Yeah,
Christian Watson, best game of the season for him, man.
for sure.
150 yards. Yeah, he just got like lost, deep down the field in that Chicago secondary a number of times.
Yeah, the Chicago Bears maintaining the time of possession. This is what I was going to get to. 36 minutes of time of possession. Green Bay Packers, 23 minutes of time of possession. The Chicago Bears, great job on third down. Like almost a perfect, completion on third down.
They were 9 of 16 on third down, and then 3 of 3 on their fourth down.
So you're going to be able to control the game and control the clock, pretty easily. Green Bay Packers, 3 of 5 in the red zone. So really good red zone efficiency and goal to go efficiency. The Green Bay Packers went 2 of 3. The one where we got stopped inside the goal line at like the 3-yard line when we went for it on fourth down. Instead of kicking a field goal, Green Bay Packers being aggressive, going for it, gets stopped. And that really, if we score on those 2 extra possessions, the game's really out of hand and it's just another Packers blowout, no big deal. But because we played so bad on defense, rushing 3 against an offensive line who can't block a soul, playing soft zone coverage with a beleaguered quarterback, and we blitzed him twice. We blitzed him twice. We sent a 5-man pressure 2 times.
Jimmy, you gotta talk to your defensive coordinator. I picked up the Packers defense this week.
I don't know what we're doing, buddy.
I was like,
I have an ownership meeting this week. Yeah. I have no idea.
How did you watch what the Patriots did last week, where they just assaulted him?
No,
you put him on the ground 9 times just by.
We didn't run a DT stunt. We didn't run any stunts. We just lined up, kind of played very conservative football for the most part, I would say.
Yeah, just get to your gap assignment.
Just 3 down linemen, soft zone coverage, no press man, no Jair Alexander this game. So, we have to figure some stuff out in our secondary, because our secondary is kind of the mainstay of our defense with Xavier McKinney and Jair Alexander.
Yeah.
Without Jair Alexander, we're going to have a few things we got to figure out down the stretch. Maybe by getting more pressure on the quarterback so your secondary doesn't have to cover. I don't know. That's a kind of a wild and crazy thought for me.
Exactly.
I was watching the game with my girlfriend, guys, and it was just the funniest thing. Like, she thought that they converted 4th and 3 at the end of the game, and she was like, "Hey, I don't know if this isn't looking good for you." And I'm like, "Well, it's the Chicago Bears, and somehow, plenty of time, 35 seconds left, plenty of time to choke that game." And as true as day is night, my friend, death taxes and the Chicago Bears losing to the Green Bay Packers. It's what it is. It's what it's always going to be. My buddy has a 6-year-old daughter, Bear fan. Shout out Tommy. Never seen his daughter win a Packer Bear game her entire life.
That's horrible.
That's tough.
I mean,
it's the Luke Van Ness. It's going to be a little bit of a awkward Thanksgiving, as we mentioned. He's dating Cole Kmet's sister.
Yeah, Cole Kmet virtually did nothing.
Non-existent.
Nothing. Did nothing.
Nothing. Well, he was like a tackle. He pretty much was blocking on the right place.
But what for? We're rushing 3. You know what I mean? But they were getting the ball out so fast. And shout out to the Chicago Bears. Thomas Brown actually showed something different than what the Bears have been doing
their entire season.
Shane Waldron their entire season. Caleb Williams on the move. He was showing his athleticism.
They used
running the
ball
a lot. They really did. He had 70 yards rushing.
9 carries, 70 yards.
That's pretty good. In 2 of them, I think he converted on 3rd down for his rushes to go up to 1st down. And hey, that's what you need. If you're going to beat the Packers, you have to keep that offense off the field.
Keep the drive
because
going,
the Packers offense, really, whenever we were out there in neutral field position, we just drove it right down the field whenever we wanted to.
That's
what relative ease. Christian Watson, probably best game of this season for sure. I know going into the Lions game, LaFleur said a few times, hey, we need to get this guy the ball some. And we really had an emphasis this game. He had 5 catches, 150 yards, dominate, no touchdowns. Jaden Reed caught a touchdown. Jordan Love with a rushing touchdown, and Josh Jacobs with a rushing touchdown, cashed the anytime touchdown prop there. But, the Bears had a chance to win it. They weren't aggressive. You see these teams that were aggressive were getting the extra play and running the Harbaugh. We talked about in the Chargers-Bengals game. Aggressive. At the end of the game, they were in field goal position. They didn't rest on the laurels. They handed the ball off again, and scored a game-winning touchdown instead of kicking a game-winning field goal that possibly could get blocked. Chicago Bears, no, we don't want to do that. Buffalo Bills against the vaunted Kansas City Chiefs. You got freaking Josh Allen 4th and 2. No, we're not settling for a field goal. Give that bad man on the other side of the field a chance to win it.
Give him a shot.
Don't give him a shot. Rush for a touchdown. Ball game.
Yeah.
Chicago Bears, 35 seconds and a timeout at your own 35-yard line. Nope, we're going to settle for a 47-yarder. First of all, if you can't make a 47-yarder, your team's garbage. So I get it. But, dude, settle the ball straight. Run an extra play. Our defense is beleaguered. We're playing off coverage in a prevent defense. You're going to gain 5-6 yards a clip. We're just trying to keep it in front of us.
Exactly.
Make the field goal easier.
It wasn't like they did what the Broncos did where they worked off all the clock before we're going to kick that field goal.
Right.
Different situation. It's like there was still time. I mean, even if you do make that, I mean, come on, the Packers are your boogeyman. Like do you really want to give them a chance
to even get a chance to block the field goal?
Right. And
47 yards far enough out to bull rush.
Yeah,
exactly. And say they do make it anyways, like with how with how much ease the Packers were moving the ball, it's like, could you really trust your defense there? I mean, Jordan Love could probably have easily gotten them into another scoring range. Because how many timeouts did the Packers have?
Packers had none, brother.
They had none.
It was over.
It was over.
So they kneeled the ball out and called their timeout with 3 seconds left.
Yeah.
When they had 35 seconds. And Tom Brady illustrated kind of good on the Gamecast. He said, "Hey, I would try to run another play here. You have plenty of time. You can get 2 more plays out. You know, you can throw one to the sideline. You still have 30 seconds left. Make it a chip shot."
I know. Like 47 yards, it's makeable, but I mean, why would you not try to just make it as easy as possible?
You have us on the ropes, man.
Exactly. Like you said, the closer the field goal is, the less the kicker's going to have to drive that ball. The higher he can just kick that up over the line.
Yep.
And that really takes away.
It's just a little pooch chip. You don't even have to really put your whole leg into it.
No.
Just get it up and over.
Further away, you got to drive it. That's just a lower trajectory on the ball. It's going to be closer to the line, and it just gives the other team a chance.
Some of the players were mentioning in the locker room post game. They're like, "Hey, we watched on film that Santos has this low trajectory kicks over 45 yards. It's just sort of like a shot." And you saw in his first field goal, there was like a 47-yarder at the beginning of the game. I think it was like their first points of the game. It was that ball was almost blocked. And he barely squeaked that over for like a 50-yarder. He like barely got it over.
That's
when they went down 7-3.
That's what I think the game plan of the Packers defense was: just keep it in front of you and let the crappy team make mistakes. But it was just the new revamped offense without Shane Waldron.
It looked good.
Came in on the
signs of life.
Yeah.
Caleb's probably best game in a while.
Yeah.
No touchdown passes, but I mean, they finally scored their first touchdown.
His best game against like a good opponent.
Good opponent.
I mean, he shredded the awful Panthers secondary, but I mean, come on.
Definitely probably the best game against, and now I just feel bad for him. Now there's still more questions. They're blaming their coaching. It's, to me, this is something that's been happening more than just their current head coach. This is something that's coming from the top of their organization to play football in this manner. This is your top of your, like, when your player personnel, when you're going over game plan, when you're watching film in the offseason, how are you going to win games? You're talking about with the organization, with your coaches, with your players. When you want to align the stars, gameplay. Are we going to be aggressive in this situation? Are we going to throw it? Are we going to run it? How are we going to use our timeouts? Chicago Bears have no idea. They really deserved to win that game until it was time to win that game. And then they lost that game.
Great way to put it.
11 consecutive losses for the Chicago Bears against the Green Bay Packers.
And
the Green Bay Packers 7-3.
We don't talk about it enough. Nobody really does. It's it might honestly be the most important phase of the game, but it gets looked at the least, I think. I mean, I'm pretty guilty of it too. Like when I'm going into
all 3 phases.
Well, I'm going in and looking at the matchup. I look at, like which defense is better, whose offense is more productive. But I mean, both of those can play really great, and then you can just collapse on special teams, and it just makes it so hard. I mean, the Bengals, they were bad defensively, but also the offense gave their special teams chances, and then you have 2 missed kicks that cost you. The Bears, their special teams mistake let down, and then you have teams that are just great on their special teams. I mean, the Steelers special teams won them that game. It was all field goals. All Chris Boswell's legs. Look, Boswell, he's been doing this for a long time, and he's just so accurate and so consistent year after year, kicking in a weird stadium too. Like Heinz Field is it's got a weird effect on kickers. Like it's hard to be accurate
The wind in that place,
the way it comes through there,
is kind of wild. That when they were showing it on the game yesterday, I'm like, man, this is. But he's got such a hard ball, dude. Like he just laces that thing, dude. There's no movement on a Chris Boswell kick,
dude. And he put 6 of them through the upright.
Yeah, one of the game.
Yeah,
one of the game single handedly.
He really did. Like you can just rely on your kicker to sit back there. And I mean,
Pittsburgh dominated time of possession too.
Wherever you get the ball at,
23 minutes.
Wherever you got, if you can get that ball over midfield and like he can just go out there and make it, such a luxury to have. And then just let that defense do what they do.
Yeah. Baltimore
Ravens
had 118
their defense, though,
return yards
for holding
pretty
them to
good.
that. 6
You said the Ravens had 800.
Ravens had 118 return yards,
and I think that's what helped the off like that. You those good returns were really able to help Baltimore get some of their scores. And it's just coming back to the special teams thing.
Played so good. Held Lamar 16 to 33, 207, 1 touchdown, 1 pick for Lamar Jackson.
Yeah. Derrick Henry got shut down pretty much. I mean, they
13
got away
carries,
from the
65.
run.
They did. They had to.
Yeah.
That second half, they were kind of chucking it.
Yeah. But I mean, he was averaging like 5 yards a carry, but
yeah,
Lamar Jackson. I think that got skewed.
Passes.
That got skewed because you just had like a couple of like big runs he ripped off, but like for the most part, it was like no gain or 1 or 2 yards or lose a yard or 2.
Yeah. 4 for 46. A fumble, yeah.
Pittsburgh 8-2.
Dude, they're
completely wrong about this team. I had my preseason predictions. I had them at last place in the NFC North.
Seriously,
I thought they were going to win. I gave them like
I had the Browns last, but I didn't think they were going to make
like
the playoffs. I didn't think that. I thought they were going to finish like 9-8 again and be like that last team out.
This was me being a hater on Russell Wilson. I had them being like 6-11. I'm like, I think some of my personal prejudice came through on my predictions there.
Yeah.
But
it's okay.
I didn't think that they would look this good. I mean, he's doing a good job of, for the most part, protecting the ball. He did have a pretty costly red zone interception that cost them some points.
I forgot about that. Yeah, that was like in the first half, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, he's doing exactly what Mike Tomlin needs him to do, which is be a game manager. And
shout out Mike Tomlin.
This is classic Ravens Steelers too. Just physical. It was chippy. I mean, you could tell there was a lot of like the guys were getting ready to fight. I mean, there's
AFC North matchup, man.
Yep.
They're always
those AFC and NFC divisions, dude, are just black and blue divisions, dude. These are gonna be physical, hit you in the face football games. Like, did you guys see in that not to go back to the Packers game, but did you see that offensive lineman from the Bears, Braxton Jones, on that peel out block against our safety Evan Williams? He offensive lineman, big guy.
That's in top place for that block alone.
Cool, good, because I wasn't even mad at it. I'm like, oh my gosh, dude,
he
uncorked on my boy, rookie 5th round pick Evan Williams.
Yeah,
out there.
He's been having a great season.
He's been having a great season.
Really
the future's bright for Evan, but he got lit up.
Not much he could have done.
Much he could have done.
That could have been prime Ed Reed. You have a 370-pound freight train coming at you. I mean,
and fans on the Bears media and all my Twitter is all Bears fans. They're like, where was this at for the whole? This is the only time I've seen Braxton Jones. They're like, oh, and other Bears fans, they're like, oh, don't worry, because he's always tripping over his feet, so he can't, get out there. This was the one time he didn't trip over his feet.
Of course, poor Evan Williams had to be on the receiver.
Baltimore, Pittsburgh, that division still, I think, man. I mean, I know.
This
now
really
the Steelers,
helps.
This
the
really
Steelers,
helps them,
though. But it's still.
I mean, it's last half
like
of the
a
season.
Game and a half.
It's a lot of football. Teams are just sort of positioning themselves now.
The Steelers do also have a tough down the
chess
stretch
pieces
schedule.
on the board are being moved.
So
I do agree with you, though.
see.
I thought the Steelers weren't going to be as good because Russell Wilson didn't quite exactly have a very good report leaving Denver. Everyone thought he was kind of done.
Yeah. He was fat in Denver. kind of was just
I think
kicking it. I don't know what he's doing, smoking pot.
I think some of those
Yeah, he's
issues are
just
still
killing it.
there. Like he doesn't really want to be a pocket passer. I mean, he's doing better about trying to pass from the pocket in Pittsburgh. That was a big issue. Is like he just thought he lost that step, and he still wanted to be that improviser, and it just wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't
He
there.
took a lot of sacks that way.
Yeah, good observation.
So he is
It's true.
he is passing it a bit more from the pocket, but like you still see like when the play breaks down, I mean it's over. Like he doesn't have the ability to keep it alive. The intermediate passing also a little bit better in Pittsburgh, but still it's like for the most part he's either throwing it like within 2 yards of the line of scrimmage or he's chucking it,
Yeah.
50 yards down the field. There isn't a whole
I
lot
think
of
they're going to
intermediate
start
passing.
relying on that running game. I think because they still have a gauntlet, boys. Like
Yeah,
they
I
go,
was gonna say.
Cincinnati, Cleveland, I know Cleveland, whatever, but Philly, Baltimore, KC, Cincinnati to end the year.
Yeah.
I mean, that's nothing to just shy
That's
away from.
tough.
No,
you can't
no.
have
That's tough.
you can't have no like letdown game. There's another
The
game
Battle
next
of
week.
Battle of Pennsylvania.
Yep.
That game's going to be in
In
Philly.
Philly.
Yeah.
You know,
The
and there's
Eagles-
always
Eagles are
second
looking
half
good.
injuries, man. I hate to say it, but it always happens to a team.
Who's
it's
it going to be that gets
Yeah,
banged up?
It's just who exactly. That's a great way to put it, man. It really is. Whose turn is it? It happens all the time. Teams that get banged up early finish strong late. Teams start strong early. End of the year, there's an injury, and it's just like, oh man, it's just tough replacing that guy. Like
Just look at the 49ers season. They lost all 23, and their whole season is pretty much.
he's back now.
He's
you know,
back.
so it's going to be interesting.
They're
They
just
play the Packers this weekend in Lambeau, baby. Wednesday
they're going to be in a
Wednesday show
dogfight.
is going to be elite.
Yeah.
Everybody, if you're listening out there, tune in Wednesday
That's
till
gonna
the
be
final
awesome.
whistle, 8 to 10.
Definitely, that's going to be a dogfight there. Yeah, San Francisco, they've got a long ways to
Yeah, they do.
go. Well, let's dive into that Seahawks game just a little bit.
Geno Smith, clutch city, dude.
For real,
Clutch city.
dude. He's had a tough year just because the offensive line play has been really bad.
Yeah.
And I think like Geno has
And
to.
they've been banged up on offense too.
Yeah, he has to get the ball out like so quickly, and like when you watch him on the tape, like I mean, he is a really good quarterback against the blitz. Like he keeps his composure. He makes the right reads. It's just like when it's happening so often.
It's hard to utilize a pocket when every play it's breaking
Yeah.
down. Like, he's going to have 1 or 2 plays of possession where it looks really good, but every other chance, it's like, well, nobody's blocking for him.
This was another one of those like like a classic Seahawks Niners matchup.
It was.
Less points, but it was just like the defense. Everyone was out there hitting. These are other two teams that they don't like each other. This matchup, this division rivalry usually doesn't disappoint. We got a really good one here. Man, JSN, this guy, the gift that keeps giving in fantasy football.
Yeah,
I gotta
no
be honest.
kidding.
10 catches for 110 yards. I like this kid. I think he's going to have a bright future. I mean, he's really starting to break out the second half of the season. With this game and then that game against the Rams that they unfortunately lost, but he had
Yeah.
like 180
He
yards and 2
Had a
touchdowns.
really good game.
That was great. I did play him over T. Higgins in a league, and I was like, well, that's tough. T. Higgins was on the bench for me in 2 leagues, and it was just like I thought I had better options to play than him. Like my flex was CMC because I had HN and Mixon as my running backs, and then Cooper Kupp and JSN in there. So it's like, who do you want to play over T. Higgins? But man, then he went out. He went absolutely off. That's my big problem. My team's too good. I got to leave somebody on the bench. That's always a good problem to have in fantasy.
That's a champagne problem right
Yeah.
there. For sure.
Enough bragging about my team.
No, woe is me. Which one of my number one?
Oh,
receivers
I have
am gonna choose?
3 top.
Was that like your
15
8-team
receivers.
league? Like,
Huh?
what is that like
It's
your
a
cheer?
it's a 10-team league.
Okay.
My 8-team league. I have
Those
Cooper
leagues
Kupp.
are. It's like just everybody. You just gotta.
I got
You gotta have the guy that goes off for 40 that week.
I got Cup, Chase, Pickens, and Garrett Wilson. So
Oh
I
my
really
gosh.
don't even need anyone
You can
else.
you can
some
cut
weeks.
Garrett Wilson, but he has no more value.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting to the point now. It's like if I need to fill a spot, you're getting dropped in the waivers.
All right. Oh,
Yeah.
my other league, give me your opinion, boys, because I think T. Higgins needs to stay in the starting lineup. So it's like these three receivers.
I mean, obviously, if he's healthy.
Yeah.
If he's banged up, I wouldn't play him.
Of my three other receivers that I'm going to be taking out, who deserves to ride the bench? I'm leaning towards Debo Samuel, but I also got Zay Flowers and Tyreek Hill.
Ooh. Man. I would probably lean Debo on the bench then.
Yeah.
Just because, I mean, Zay's
better.
younger and Miami's better. And when Tua's out there, Tyreek Hill is obviously the guy.
He's really only had like one or two decent games too. He's just been wild.
Start him on Thanksgiving because he is playing the Green Bay Packers secondary, and we are not going to have Jair Alexander, and he is going to uncork on us, dude.
Oh, that's the thing. That's a Sunday night game for Thanksgiving, huh?
Thanksgiving Packers.
Oh, that'll be a good one.
Tyreek Hill that week. That's my advice for that one.
Jair. Yeah, that's gonna be tough.
Yeah, he kind of banged up his knee. I think we're gonna have him out for next couple of games. He said he's okay on Twitter, but he's probably gonna be out the next couple of games, and that leads into the Niners and Miami game for Thanksgiving.
Brock Purdy. This was another lackluster showing from him. 21 to 28, $159 touchdown and a pick.
They miss Brandon Ayuk. I don't care what anybody says.
They do.
It wasn't worth the bag. He is a vertical threat deep downfield and in a precise and elite route runner.
I think he was making it a lot easier for other people. Like he wasn't necessarily.
He takes double coverage off of Debo.
Yeah.
Because who's your other threat? Brandon Jennings. I mean, he's a decent guy, but
Juwan Jennings.
Jennings, yeah.
But yeah, no, exactly.
Brandon Jennings, a basketball player. Shout out Brandon Jennings.
You get the free shout out, Brandon Jennings.
I'm not afraid of that guy. I mean, I think the Packers have people that can cover him.
Debo's not. He's a terrible route runner. Like he's just got his run after the catchability elite, but you got to get the ball in his hands. And it's like you can jam him, or even if you're playing zone on him, he just runs routes really bad where it's like he's not going to really burn you.
Yeah.
I mean, I think DBs could run the route better for him. So it's.
I mean, if you're a wide receiver and they're trying to give you the ball out of the backfield to manufacture touches, it's probably not.
And
it's versatility. Well,
like you said,
because he's a liability somewhere else.
Now
he's not better than Brandon Ayuk on the outside, so you can't play him there.
I mean, Ayuk was a legitimate threat with his route running and his ability to go downfield. Like even though he wasn't putting up the numbers, you kind of had to double team him because.
Yeah. I mean, we'll at least roll the coverage.
Yeah,
so what scouted look you're going to get. Okay, we put Brandon.
I forget who they were playing, but
how are they going to rotate?
The one game he had this season where he went off for like 11 catches and $150, he was seeing single coverage like all game. Like the team refused to double him. I cannot remember who they were playing. Another team with red, but whatever. I digress.
Just another
okay.
weird reason.
I'll look it up for you.
Debo's their number one.
That's what Jimmy covers.
He's their number one receiver, pretty much.
Yeah.
Even when Ayuk is healthy, and he can't be the X guy.
No,
it just doesn't make sense. And I get it. You're playing a role in your offense, but you're the number one wide receiver, and you can't be on the outside. You have to be in certain positions in the offense to be successful.
Call me crazy, but when they line McCaffrey up out wide, he becomes that team's number one wide receiver.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Also, George Kittle, is nice of him to show up this game. And he really added a whole lot to
I had some people on TikTok
the team there
trying to say he's due for a touchdown this week. Add him to your parlay. George Kittle, anytime touchdown. No chance.
No chance, bro.
George Kittle, anytime you want to touch the ball or no?
Yeah, I went to go check the stats and his name isn't on here.
Dude, I don't know, I was bragging about my fantasy teams, but across my leagues, I had two my tight ends were rough. I had George Kittle in a league. I got Tucker Kraft in 2 leagues that I started. So those were 2 bagels. TJ Hawkinson in another, Mark Andrews in one.
It's been a tough year for tight ends, dude.
It's brutal. Yeah. It's the most
It made me so mad that we didn't target Tucker Kraft in that Packer game. There wasn't a lot of possessions, but
I just thought he would
be the one to kind
he
of tear him
dominated
up.
the Bears in the Week 18 game to end the season last year. He had 2 touchdowns, 115 yards on 7 touches.
He
dominated.
Yep.
Won us the game by himself.
If you want to put a safety on him, all right, good luck. He's just bigger than those guys, and he's way faster than those Bears linebackers.
Yeah.
like a Bears linebackers are just not going to be able to keep up with him. And he has the size advantage on all of their secondary.
And they're slow. Like we
Right.
had, like you
Dude, he should have had like
Sam-
7 catches for 150 yards.
Dude,
Come
I don't know
on.
if we weren't
Tucker
trying to
Kraft
show a
legacy
whole
game.
bunch coming out of the bye week against the Bears because
Hey, that's my only thought.
we have a Niners, Lions, Vikings stretch here coming up with Miami Dolphins in the middle. So I mean, there's just the second half. Is it last season? Peter Bukowski on Twitter, shout out Bleacher Report. The 2 games against the Chicago Bears last year, Jordan Love went empty formation 17 times. He threw 5 touchdowns in empty formation without Aaron Jones on the field.
Jeez.
2 of them to Tucker Kraft, 2 of them to Romeo Dobbs, and 2 touchdowns too. He had 7 touchdown passes total in 2 games. Demoralization.
That's great. Well, they didn't have anything in this game. And
Nothing.
My fantasy team is,
he
is worse
targeted
for
him
it.
once and he overthrew him and threw that pick in the red zone. That was the only time we took. No more Tucker Kraft. Just don't even throw it.
That was the one time he got thrown.
He
the
got
ball.
thrown. Yeah,
It just wasn't
and
really
it
near.
sailed over his head.
Yeah.
Bad throw by Jordan.
All right,
Awful.
shifting over to another game here. We're going to keep it in the NFC West and talk about the Rams and their game against the
Nearly
Patriots.
freaking choked
I mean, the
it.
Pats
Man.
gave them a
Really
scare
did.
for sure.
And they were in
Um,
control in that game going into the fourth quarter.
Yeah. And you kind of see, man, it like if a team can find out a way to just neutralize Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua, which I mean,
Yeah.
no easy task. Those guys, like,
Yeah.
you can't double both of them, unfortunately. Like they were Demarcus Robinson after those 2 was the next receiver with, the most receptions. He had 2. So those guys had
New
13.
England had 37 minutes to time of possession
They
to the
controlled the
Rams
ball.
22 minutes. Holy crap.
They ran the ball 30 times. And Drake May,
That's crazy.
he still threw it 40 times as well and completed 30 of those. I really like Drake May. I think this kid's going to be a stud if you
I
can give
kinda
him
like
some
him.
weapons, man.
I think so. I think they got their
I
guy
mean,
there,
he just
man.
hasn't gotten to play as much, but from everything I've seen, I mean, this guy
Not bad.
may be the best rookie QB in that draft class. I'm saying this as a Bo Lever, Bo Nix fan. I know Jaden Daniels has looked great, but I mean, teams are starting to figure him out. We'll see what happens when they get more film on Drake May. Obviously, he's only played like 3 or 4 games, but I'm just like, you look at the situation he's in. Patriots offensive line,
No good.
terrible. The
Yeah.
wide receiver room, not good.
Not good.
I mean,
Yeah.
they were like acting like, oh, you got Kendrick Bourne back this week. Like, there you like, okay, cool.
Who the heck is that?
Exactly. Ramondre Stevenson, I mean, he's a good workhorse back, but like he's just not like
He's okay.
when like you're handing him the ball a
He's
bunch.
good if your
not,
team stinks. If your
Yeah.
team's good, you don't need him.
you wouldn't have him on like
Yeah.
a good team. Yeah, exactly. I like the guy, but yeah, he's just not a real number 1 running back option.
No.
Who's Drake May's safety valve? His tight end, Hunter Henry. That guy stinks.
Yeah, if you can't
Like-
replace that in the draft, what are we doing?
And despite all of that, Drake May keeps putting up solid numbers.
Not bad.
I like how he looks great when he runs. Like he's really fast. Like he's a quick quarterback. He can
He's
escape
pretty
pressure really well. In his few starts, he's thrown for 1,200 yards, 9 touchdowns. 6 interceptions, but whatever. You're rookie QB, and you're just getting absolutely bum rushed on most of your plays. Yeah.
You can't really do much.
No, it's tough. I mean, he's getting like most games, he's getting sacked at least 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
They did a decent job of protecting him against Chicago and the Jets, but
And he can move in the pocket, so it's not like he's
Yeah.
just taking dumb sacks.
I'm just saying,
he
like,
just has no protection.
he's probably got the worst situation of any rookie quarterback. Just in terms of what he's got around him, and he's still playing pretty well. I mean,
Yeah.
they've been competitive.
They're staying in the games
Yeah.
that they lose.
Even when they
It's
like
really
really the only game he got blown out in was that Texans game, and that was his first career start. And even so, in that game, I mean, he was just getting absolutely unloaded on by Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter.
first NFL start, and that's
Right.
that's the guys that are going to be hounding him the whole game. That's
tough.
Jeez, dude.
Yeah, he got sacked 4 times. He did throw 2 interceptions. One of those was like a tipped ball, but despite that, he led his team in rushing and had 243 yards. Still ended in the blowout, but then since then, Also, in London, they got lost by 16 to the Jaguars, but rookie QB going overseas, kind of a weird situation there. And even then, I can't even really put that loss on him. He had 276 yards, 2 touchdowns, no turnovers. They couldn't run the ball for a damn. He had 18 rushing yards, and he was his team's leading rusher. So that's a situation where it's like you're not helping your rookie quarterback. Exactly. But after those 2 weird starts against the Jets, he beats the Jets. And the first time they played the Jets, Jacoby Brissett got sacked 8 times. So good adjustment by the Patriots to, shore up that protection and keep him protected. Took the Titans to overtime. And he had that incredible play to extend it and find Ramondre to keep it alive. They snapped the ball with 4 seconds, and that play took, I think, 12 seconds to develop before he finally let it go. Yeah, and then they march into Soldier Field and, smack around Caleb Williams and get that win. And then, hanging tough with the Rams. I like Drake May. I think he's got tons of potential. The offseason, get him a real number 1 weapon and beef up that offensive line or something.
You're seeing major improvement here.
Yeah.
Even though the season's pretty much done at this point for the Patriots, you're seeing major improvement. Yeah. You have a core to build on.
Exactly. I think Jalen Polk, he could be nice as kind of a deep ball threat. I don't know if he's really going to be number 1 wide receiver type of potential, but if you could find somebody in free agency, or you'll probably have another high draft pick. Maybe you can draft another wide receiver. Who knows? Get your
T. Higgins.
Yeah, go. Yeah.
Want to go
can
be
the Bengals
number 1 somewhere?
Can the Bengals keep him? And they haven't paid Jamar Chase yet, have they? I don't think the Bengals have. That could cause some problems for them because he is just driving up the price.
Yeah,
with how well he's playing. So
they were saying in the offseason he wants $300 million. So.
That's nuts. But the Patriots, they're a team
that he wants $50 million more than Justin Jefferson.
Wow,
and he got $230 this offseason.
So K-Man's on the case. I'm saying, that's probably a little unrealistic, but the Patriots, they have a lot of cap space money. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, they do.
And Gerard Mayo, defensive oriented coach. Their defense has been pretty solid, but
they're going to go get a real coach.
Not a ton of
has not received a new contract yet.
They're going to go get a new coach this offseason, I would imagine.
You think so? Well, they just promoted Gerard Mayo though.
Oh yeah. I feel like that's a kind of former player coach that is in a worse situation than a lot of the other ones.
I think he's in over his head.
I think Robert Kraft, he really liked the guy. The guy played for him, and then they brought him back as a coach, and now they're giving him the head coaching job.
So they wouldn't have a freaking mutiny against their ex-head coach.
I think Robert Kraft might. I think he might keep him around just because Kraft likes guys that he's
going to go get Vrabel.
Who?
He's going to go get Mike Vrabel.
Mike Vrabel? Oh, that would be.
It's. I think that's kind of like in the.
I feel like you can't fire Mayo though.
I don't think they're going to fire Mayo. I think they're just going to move him within the organization.
Make him like the D coordinator or something.
Vrabel and Mayo play together. To me, it's just he. He's already at the freaking practices. He's like doing the solid thing for Green Bay. He's doing that for the Patriots.
Oh yeah, so that's.
That's their next head coach.
There you go. All right.
You know what I mean?
I can see what you're saying there.
And I think it's kind of Bill Belichick. Don't make it any more obvious that you're going to coach the New York Jets next year. Buddy, he's on freaking CBS football in a freaking Giants hoodie talking about how bad I wonder what you're trying to accomplish, Bill Belichick.
Who knows?
Who he already coached for, who he's going to have players there that he's familiar with. And he's going to be able to come in there, and because Joe Shane's obviously an idiot, their GM's freaking clueless for the Giants. So he's going to be able to come in there with an owner who's going to be able to give him all the power because he tried to make all these decisions and they didn't work. Now they're going to give those decisions to a football guy who's helped that team before in the 80s with Bill Parcells and be able to come in, who's a draft pick next year. You're probably going to stink. So you're going to get a couple of good draft picks.
Exactly.
Arch Manning, who used to play for his uncle, Eli Manning, New York Giants, family history there in New York.
Wait, so is Belichick going to the Giants or the Jets?
The Giants, bro.
The Giants.
The
Okay.
Giants. Oh yeah, the Giants for sure.
What about the Jets? Who do you think their head coach is going to be?
Aaron Rodgers.
You
know what I mean? Like,
if
it's
he
just what it is.
retires, and then it's like New York Jets have hired Aaron Rodgers as head coach for the 2020,
Yeah,
2025, 26 season.
Man,
He's been the coach. I mean, like, the owner went to go see Aaron Rodgers without Robert Saleh as the coach. That let me know right away who was actually responsible for this team.
Exactly.
First signs of weakness, Robert Saleh was gone. You know
And
what
then
I
their
mean?
defense
And the Packers are undefeated
has
since they,
tanked.
since they had him on the sideline.
All right. Well, speaking of the Jets, man, blowing another one at home to the Colts. Anthony Richardson. I mean, come on, you let this guy complete 20 of his 30 passes.
That's rare. It's rare to see.
That's
I'm
improvement for
surprised they
him.
let him throw the ball 30 times. To be
Yeah.
honest, fucking with you.
And then he ran it 10 more. So I mean, 40 touches where the ball was in Jefferson.
His best throw was to
Richardson
end the
hands.
first half where he chucked the ball into the nacho stand
Yeah.
with like 3 seconds left. They didn't want to punt it, so he just he launched that thing into the third upper deck. I'm like,
dude.
buddy, where's this on the field?
He's got a missile.
A
I think
missile.
that's the problem, is that he wants to just throw it down the field. That's why he's been so inaccurate, why he has so many incompletions. He doesn't want to take the easy stuff. You know, it's just like he wants.
It's hard, man.
Yeah, I'd be like, when you've got a cannon like that too, he wants to
Love,
sling
I
it.
saw it with Love. Like,
Yeah,
his average attempt per pass as he came in the league is like 15 yards down. Buddy,
exactly.
check the ball down.
Check it down. Take the underneath stuff. It's. I promise
It's
you.
a learning process.
I promise you, it's gonna open up. But you gotta make the defense. You know, you gotta
Rally
make them come up. You know,
and make
They're
a
gonna
tackle.
expect him
Right.
to go over the top.
Like, if
Probably
you're-
not a
yeah.
good idea to throw it over the top.
exactly. You
They
you
could've
gotta
no
open it
run
up. I
game
mean,
going, though, man.
I think he'll learn. Good on the Colts for putting him back in there. You might as well, if you're like, you were losing games with Flacco in ways, you might as well lose with your rookie quarterback in there.
Yeah,
And
let
hey, he
him
comes
learn.
back in and gets a win. So
Dude, they dominated time of possession, 34 minutes to 25 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Threw
9
the
minutes
ball
of extra time of
24
possession.
times to Jonathan Taylor, but he only had 57 yards.
Yeah,
yeah, that was it. Taylor, he kind of got shut down.
he really did.
He's having a bit of a disappointing season. I know he has been hurt a little bit, but
and that
Just don't
is a
like to
tough
give him the
Jets run
ball.
defense
that's
They
that's
just don't
fair.
like to give
against
him
a
the ball
weak
sometimes.
Indianapolis Colts run offense.
That's true. The Colts O line's falling off, man.
Yeah,
I know they still got
Third
Quinn
down,
and
just
Nelson
do
out
it,
there, but
freaking Jonathan Taylor.
just overall, their offensive line is very weak.
yeah.
Substandard.
Subpar.
Usually. Yeah,
And then the Jets,
Josh
man.
Downs cooked up though,
He
84
scored a
yards with
touchdown.
a touchdown.
he did. He
Pretty
did.
nice.
Goal to go situations. Indianapolis Colts 2 for 2. New York Jets 0 goal to go. 0 goal to go. Downs against the Indianapolis Colts. 0. Red zone, only in the red zone 3 times.
It was,
Indianapolis Colts in the red zone 5 times, went 3 of 5.
Brees Hall finally had like a first round draft pick type fantasy game.
Yeah.
Thank God.
They had that
That was
little
awesome.
he had that little dump off pass.
Yeah, and then he had
Like
like
30
good
yarder.
run, 2 touchdowns, about like 110
Aaron
scrimmage yards,
Rodgers,
7 catches.
Beleaguer, dude.
When's the last time this guy's thrown for 300 yards? I think he's when he was
Oh,
in the
dude.
Packers jersey.
And years
Like
ago when he
Right.
was in, because dude, it was like his last 2 years, he didn't come close to 250 with freaking Devontae Adams.
yeah. Oh, that last
You know
season
what I
he was
mean?
there in Green Bay was bad.
Oh, it was awful.
Yeah.
You know, and he really held us hostage with it. He broke his thumb in the Germany game against the Giants. It was like week 2. And he knew what was coming. He knew what was on the bench. And if he didn't, you know, if he sat or he gave like a 5-week stretch where where Jordan Love could play while he was nursing his broken thumb and the ligament issue that he had,
He would have been on the bench.
he
the rest
would
of
have
the
been
year.
he would have been gone after week 3. We would have literally traded him middle of the year. We would have. No doubt in my mind. We just got rid of him too easy at the end of that season. But when you lose a home game to win an in situation against the Detroit Lions and you lose and you don't score a freaking touchdown
There you go.
against the
You're
worst
out.
defense in the league at that
Yeah, you're
point,
gone.
they weren't. This is pre-Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah, you're
Their
gone after
defense
that.
was awful.
It was really bad.
And you couldn't score a touchdown. Crazy. Yeah, I don't even remember the last time he scored.
He's
threw for
struggling
he's
really
struggling,
bad.
dude.
Not
It's
again, not
good.
200 yards. I don't know, man. I think it
awful.
it might have been time to pack it up after the Achilles injury.
Dude, when you
What,
lost
like-
the Detroit game and you got Randall Cobb on that picture that they got with Cobby and Devontae and freaking Aaron Rodgers in the middle walking off that field the year before we got rid of Devontae Adams and don't even let any of this New York shit happen. Go out. Like, what are you doing?
So the last time Aaron Rodgers
Ego,
threw for
man.
300 yards was on December 12th, 2021. When he threw for
That's-
341 yards.
Years,
Massive
like
fall off. Wow.
years. Because he was with the Packers in 24.
I mean, so we're almost coming up on 3 years of him
3
not
years.
passing. I know he was hurt for one of those years, but still.
Guess what team it was against?
Carolina Panthers.
The Chicago
Chicago-
Bears.
Oh,
Of
always
course.
comes
That,
back.
that
Of
makes more
course.
sense. Of course,
Of
you had
course.
341 yards passing against the Bears in 2021.
Jeez.
What a brutal fall from grace for Aaron Rodgers here.
I think that was the I own you game.
It might have been.
I think that was the I own
I
you
still
game.
own you.
I still own you.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh, it was great.
Well, he proved it.
Yeah,
And it was the last time he got to prove it.
yeah.
So I think this loss here, the Jets season is effectively over. Any fleeting hope that you had of a playoff run is dashed out.
He
now.
gone. Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
Is he going to be a Minnesota Viking next year?
I think he should retire. I mean, dude can't play. The Vikings got JJ McCarthy too.
Aaron Rodgers loves JJ McCarthy. Might want to be an understudy to him.
I mean, I don't think you can look at how Rodgers has played this year and be like, oh yeah, we should bring him in to play a season instead of this guy we spent a top 15 draft pick on that we were going to have play this year.
Dark Twitter's like, oh, he's just tanking for the New York Jets like Brett Favre did before he goes to Minnesota and he actually starts playing good again.
I don't know. I think this is different than the Favre situation
because they used to troll like Packer fans definitely, and like couldn't imagine Aaron Rodgers having worse stats than Brett Favre in New York because Brett Favre's stats in New York were heinous. Heinous, brother. Oh, it was the worst. It was so funny for Packer fans. Like, bro, I was dying laughing watching.
My dad is a huge Jets fan. I remember he was so excited for that season, and he just.
He got had one good game against the Bills before they were ever in.
Yeah,
I would have lost my mind if I was a Jets fan and we were going to get Brett freaking Favre.
I mean, I think they were coming off of year 3 of Chad Pennington. They were ready to move.
Yeah.
I would have lost my mind.
Oh, it was funny, dude. And so Dark Twitter's like, oh yeah, he's only doing this to tank so they can run him out of town, and then the Minnesota Vikings will sign him because they want to go on a playoff run.
If he just goes on the same cycle, same career path as Brett Favre, that's just
when he sat behind it and watched it, bro.
It just proves that time is the circle.
So many of us, dude, wanted. Yeah. I was screaming from the mountaintops. Pat McAfee blocked me on freaking Twitter because I trash talked Aaron Rodgers so much as a Packers fan. Blocked me. Ty Schmidt, shout out Ty Schmidt. He retweeted one of my things. And the next day, I was blocked by Pat McAfee.
That's crazy.
I'm not blocked by Ty Schmidt, so I still get all of the Pat McAfee, and I have a burner, so I go there for all my Pat McAfee content. But at the same time, I'm
out there making enemies.
Oh, I have it on my Twitter famous because Pat McAfee blocked me, and I still get comments "How come he blocked you?" And I'm like, "Because I hate Aaron Rodgers." And they're like, "But you own the Green Bay Packers." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know." And they're like, "How does that work?" And I'm like, "Well, when you don't win a Super Bowl in 12 freaking years." And you stink and you lose to the Lions, I want everybody. I have no loyalty. That's the best thing about right now. You stink against Chicago. If we lost that game, start Malik Willis against the San Francisco 49ers. I'm serious.
That's nuts.
I'm serious. You lose to the Chicago Bears. Jordan.
I feel you,
Jimmy. I'm going to cut you off because
Spencer Rattler was going to start from week 1.
Oh,
I care none for Derek Carr.
That's nuts.
I was right.
He's playing pretty good these last 2 weeks.
I gave it 1 to 2 weeks for him to get benched. He got injured against the Chiefs, so he had to be benched in 4 weeks?
Yeah.
So I was pretty close to prediction on how long it would take for people to turn on Derek Carr, even after playing good for the 2 weeks.
Derek
I'm
Carr,
the same exact way.
I think maybe Derek Carr and maybe Minnesota.
Again, JJ McCarthy's there.
Yeah,
I don't
I
think.
think they're probably going to.
Do we know he's good?
Huh?
They have
fell
to
in
take a
love with him
chance
in the
to-
Michigan,
preseason.
Michigan didn't let him throw the ball.
They have to.
I know.
They have to take a chance on him because
Look, he
of
got.
the meniscus.
I will say
no other team is going to try and get him. There.
small sample size, but
They gotta
the
take
one
a chance on
preseason
him.
game he had, I was very surprised at how good he looked. You know, he didn't.
Preseason?
Yeah, he didn't look flustered throwing against the blitz. He was very accurate. Just
I think
good.
JJ's kind of a
good arm strength.
That's a reach.
We'll see.
He has
I
no
mean,
arm strength.
Yeah,
He threw the ball 9 yards and had a duck in the national championship game go for a 75-yard touchdown. It's a dime. I'm like, bro, he threw a fluttering duck he throws with gloves on because he has the smallest hand sizes coming out of the draft this year.
yeah. He was one of those guys that got overhyped up by the combine.
Oh,
We
yeah.
haven't
Oh,
got
yeah,
we
dude.
haven't gotten to see
It
it
was
though.
a big reach just to
Um,
pick him there.
We haven't gotten to
What
see it,
was
so
his
it's like
knee
it's
injury? Or was it Achilles?
meniscus.
Something in the
There's a meniscus
yeah.
there.
Because he got surgery recently. I think that's why they're just going to take a chance on him because you kind of see
Well,
what he
you're
can
going to
do.
have to. You draft him in the first
He
round.
he also got pretty hyped up. So I just think without that, everyone got really excited after that first preseason game, and then the meniscus tear happened. And
I
was like-
heard Christian Ponder when they drafted him out of college because he had a
yeah,
really good year with Florida State. Oh, this is going to be
like I'm not saying he's going to be the next great thing. I'm just saying you're the Vikings, you got to play this kid. Why would you go after
Yeah.
instead of aging old vet?
Then
That's gonna wanna start.
then why would you get Sam? You knew you were drafting a quarterback.
They got Sam Darnold to be a backup. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
going to be honest with you.
But they
Honestly,
paid him
though,
a
I thought
starter's money.
Darnold
I
was
mean, they
gonna
gave
start
him.
the whole time.
I knew he was going to start the whole time.
Is that like
Injury or not, he's playing.
I thought he was. I
before
mean,
the
yeah, he
combine, nobody
probably
was
would have
high on
started at the
McCarthy.
beginning of the season, but
And then you go, well, he wouldn't lose his job. I mean, if you start the season
Yeah.
at 5-0,
well, I think that was the Vikings.
you're not taking
plan.
him out.
They wanted McCarthy's very young. She's only
Yeah.
20, so they were like, well, here,
That's true.
here's what would either happen. Like, hey, either Sam Darnold plays above expectations, and we just let McCarthy sit and learn from him on the bench, and we're all good, or
we gotta start.
we're trash. Sam Darnold's trash. When we decide the season's kind of over, let's get McCarthy in there and then he can play without all that pressure of we're still trying to
Yeah.
make the playoffs.
That's a good point.
He just gets to go out there and play, learn, and make some mistakes. I think that was the Vikings' plan. They didn't expect him to tear his meniscus, and then
No,
Looks
yeah,
like
you
they
can't
would've-
ever expect that.
yeah,
It's tough.
I mean, it looks
he
like
exited. He didn't get injured in the game. It wasn't until after that
It-
preseason.
wasn't
Yeah.
it like a non-contact injury at practice too, where he jacked his crap up?
No, it was after the preseason game. They
was.
announced that he tore his meniscus. He played the whole game too, like fine. And once they after the game, like I think it was the next day or even a few hours after the preseason game.
No
It's
kidding.
Like JJ McCarthy
Probably
tore
did it in the
meniscus.
game. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought a meniscus too was only like one of those like 4 to 6 week knee injuries. You know what I mean? But I guess he did have surgery, so there's scar tissue.
I
that
think
would have to
it
heal
I
up
think
there.
if it was only like a partial tear, it could heal on its own. But I think it was like a complete
Full,
tear, and
yeah.
it had to
Had
be
to be
surgically repaired.
get those pig
Probably
tendons in there,
because he
JJ.
kept playing while it was
No
torn
kidding.
and
Yeah.
Yeah,
effed it up
Yeah.
even more.
And I'm surprised he's young. Yeah, I mean, like, I thought he was like, because I know he was at Michigan for like a long time, just like sitting there, and then just like got his shot, and then he went on like a run.
And he's
but
only
he had like
20,
a
so, I mean, he's
stacked
got-
team around them. So
Oh yeah, dude, like they have
Well,
9
they-
draft picks off that.
I
team
was
in the NFL
I
right
was
now.
never really that high on McCarthy. Like when he jumped up to like a top 5, quarterback consideration. Like I was like, wow, like we're saying this guy's like an
I was
early
laughing. I'm like,
first round pick.
'cause
I
I
was
had
like-
Bo Nix going to the Vikings.
Yeah,
I remember that. Yeah,
I had different picks.
I heard that the Broncos wanted to draft him, and I was like, please no. I was like, I did
Yeah.
not want McCarthy.
yeah.
No, like I hope
I would
I'm
way
wrong.
rather have Bo Nix coming.
I'm
Knowing what they did in college, I'm
Yeah.
choosing Bo Nix 10 times.
I would
over
hope
him.
I'd be wrong about the guy, but I'm like, I mean, you're playing on you're a game manager on this super team that had
Right.
a stacked
did-
defense,
Whose
and just-
coach literally said in the media, "We don't want him throwing the ball."
He's
Yeah.
not ready to be on.
He's not.
He's not
And-
ready to be on a rebuilding team.
2 NFL caliber running backs, and you're
Yeah.
going backfield there. Like, okay,
That's true.
I'm like, okay, man, he won a national championship. I guess early second round, I could maybe see it if you really
Totally.
for the back.
I thought like second, third round, something like that. I'm like,
But
okay.
Bo Nix is who I wanted for the Broncos.
Yeah,
so
I'd
happy
be
we
elated.
got him.
I would be elated if I were you.
Yeah.
For sure.
So I'm glad that Sean Payton baited, the Vikings into taking McCarthy, apparently, as the story goes. Well,
Just showing you the time.
and we ended up with our guy Bo Nix. It's been working.
That's
out
good.
really
And where'd
well.
you guys got him 7th?
No, we 12th.
12th.
The 12th overall pick. Yeah,
You guys had the 12th overall pick
we did.
with Russell Wilson as your
We
quarterback.
went 9-8.
That's right.
It kind of was surprising that we got we went 8-9, not 9. We didn't have a winning season, but yeah, it was kind of like surprised that we had that high of a draft pick with 8 wins. Or was it 7-10? Maybe we went 7-10.
Yeah, because
I think you guys had like a run there where you guys
did.
kinda
We went on
almost
like
made
a
the playoffs.
We beat the Chiefs, and we went into Buffalo and beat Buffalo.
Yeah.
It was the 5-game streak where again Russell Wilson was just throwing up bombs to Cortland Sutton.
You guys came back in the Bears game. You guys beat us.
Yeah. Yeah, we beat the Packers.
It was like week 3, week 2, something like that.
Week 4, I think. I think it was
Something like
after
that.
we beat the Bears because we got like a little winning streak going.
It was a 5-game streak after you guys started like 2-6.
Yeah.
And
I think we started 2-5, won like 5 games in a row, and we were like 7-5, and it was like, okay, maybe there's a chance here.
Yeah.
And then we blew it against the Patriots of all teams on Saturday night.
It was
That
that was the start of the downfall.
That was it.
And then we lost like
everybody jumped off the ship. After that.
Then it was
They let go of the
it
rope.
was pretty much over after that. Yeah.
They let go of the rope.
It was
That's
weird
crazy.
though last year because the Saints were what? We were 15th pick, and we won 9 games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
there's only like
there was
2
definitely
really
some some shakeups because there were teams that
I
didn't
would
own their
die
draft
for
picks
like
and
a
everything.
top 15. I would just die for a top 15 pick, dude. Die. I would
your
give
teams-
up.
Oh,
Give up anything.
This
We
guy
always pick in the 20s.
years and years of winning seasons. He's like, I just wanna.
Our last top 15 pick was Jair Alexander almost a decade ago.
It's a long time.
That's our last top 15 pick, and he was picked 12th.
It's a long time.
I've seen one top 10 draft pick like
Okay,
in
Jimmy,
my
you don't-
entire life.
You
AJ
don't
Hawk.
understand the pain you have to go through to get these top 15,
dude,
top 10 picks.
Dude,
It's
I'm so
rough.
good, bro. I know it's
brutal.
rough. I know it's
It's
brutal.
brutal, bro.
I know it's awful. It has to be the most
When
gut-
you're looking
but
forward
when
to
I
your draft
know
pick,
my
it's
team is
bad.
I know if I know my team is crap, it sort of makes it easier for me. I have no expectations. Being good, I have this expectation like, okay, we're always going to have a shot. What are we going to do when we make the playoffs? What are we going to do when we beat the Dallas Cowboys in the playoffs? And who are we playing next? That's sort of like my mentality as a Packer fan. Aaron Rodgers,
Oh, it's valid.
undefeated against the Packers in the playoffs in his career. Undefeated. Hasn't lost. So, like, Jordan Love comes in, no big deal, hangs up 46, 5 touchdown game. Aaron Jones, touchdown, two catching, 1 rushing. Beautiful game. Loved it. Loved every single second of it. Now, who we play next? On to the next one. Gut-wrenching loss. You're up 8 with 5 minutes left, and you lose.
That's true. I've seen both. with
We
the
were
Saints.
5 minutes away from. I don't think anybody would disagree. We were going to beat the dog snot out of the Detroit Lions last year with how we were playing and how bad their defense was.
Oh yeah, they would have gotten shredded.
We would have gone back into Detroit and hung up another 50 burger on them like we did on Thanksgiving without hesitation. So
I see what you mean, though.
and then it's and that's bone crushing.
That's fair. Yeah.
That is absolute. I'm watching and Sherry.
I will
I'm
say-
just dying, dude. But if my team stinks, bro, I'm kicked up. I could
That's
give 2 craps.
I will say I
you
did
know.
experience that a little bit when the Broncos got Manning, and we kept making it to the playoffs, and then we
Lost
just
to Baltimore Ravens.
lost some really heartbreaking fashions. The Ravens
Yeah.
lost. That was
At
tough.
Super Bowl, you lost.
We
against
kind of got
Seattle.
people forget we also got shut down by the Colts in the divisional round. Like we came in off of a bye,
The Andrew Luck.
and Andrew Luck came in there, beat us 24-13.
No
We
kidding.
looked terrible. Like they just controlled us that entire game.
And that team was bad too for the Colts. They got lucky
And we have
because Peyton Manning set like a passing record that year.
that was
with,
that was the year before 2013.
Was it?
That
when
was
he did, like, the 50
2012.
touchdowns or whatever it was.
Yeah, because the year the 2013 offense where he broke all those records, we played the Legion of Boom,
Right in
and
the Super Bowl. That's
MetLife.
right.
and I knew that was
good.
going to be a rough one when the first snap of the
And
game
you-
went
and-
over Peyton's head.
And you
out
were
the
an
back of the end zone.
onside kick away from playing the Green Bay Packers instead of the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, that might have been a different. Who knows
I agree.
how that game would have
No,
gone?
it would have gone different. You would have won. Our secondary was trash.
That's true.
Julius Thomas has 3 touchdowns in the Super Bowl.
And instead, I don't even remember how we scored our touchdown. I've purged that game from memory. For me, that was just a Bruno Mars. That was a Bruno Mars concert, and they had an exposition match of football before and after the concert.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Cool Bruno Mars halftime.
I would way rather. I think it's way easier to stink. Like, that's what I don't get about the Bears fans, man. Like, what expectation? How are you let down and like demoralized? Like, you've never been good your entire life.
Well, I as a person that's been a fan of a team that has had periods of being really good and also sucking, I prefer being good, even though
Totally.
hard, even though it's tough to lose in the playoffs. Got a little sun on glasses. I'd rather be going there and like being competitive and seeing my team win games and like, oh yeah, even if we got knocked out of the playoffs, I can be like, well, my team's still pretty good.
Yeah.
Can hang my hat on that. Where it's like when you're just watching your team week after week lose, look dysfunctional, you're like, why do I even do this to myself?
Why?
And it was really bad.
Same thing with you, Caveman. I mean, you've had a Super Bowl championship. You guys, beat the Chicago Bears, in playoffs before I've watched. You've also been really bad. You've also been really good. Highest of highs, lowest of lows. All 3 of our teams have. I don't think it's a question. Way rather be good, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like the teams that are just always bad. There's like this, the thought of like being good overwhelms them so much that when they win a game or like show flashes of being good, they just get so high up on the pedestal that it's like when you actually come to realization that my team stinks, you're let down.
Yep.
And like, I've never experienced it. Literally, I have never experienced that in my entire life.
Well,
before the Saints, before the 2000s, really, the Saints were the worst team in football.
Yeah,
It's true. It's true. Then Katrina happened. Everything changed.
Sean Payton, Drew Brees, and
out with the old, in
hope.
with the new.
Yeah.
Kind of like in this weird way.
Also, what's bad about the Broncos were just terrible about giving me false hope, and like they put
John Elway kind of screwed you guys.
Yeah, he's great at drafting defensive players, but he just couldn't get a quarterback to save his life.
Yeah.
I'm glad he gave up some of the GM responsibilities.
Yeah, you guys do have a completely new regime. He's not even involved with the team anymore.
He's more like president of like football operations or something like that. Geez. I don't know. George Payton hasn't exactly been gangbusters. I mean, he orchestrated the Russell Wilson trade. He brought in Frank Clark and Randy Gregory. Don't know if you know that we had Randy Gregory and Frank Clark on their team. Those guys
last year. Randy Gregory from the Cowboys.
Yeah, he brought them in. He brought in Frank Clark last year. Randy Gregory joined the year Russell Wilson came in.
No kidding.
Those guys played like a grand total of like 4 games. That was just awful. They didn't.
What do you even?
Yeah, they didn't touch the field.
Trevor Siemian, baby.
Oh my God,
Vance Joseph years, dude. That was
yeah.
And then you drafted Paxton Lynch in like the 2nd round. Oof.
Don't even get me started on Brock Osweiler.
Brock Osweiler brought him in. Hey, won a big game against the New England Patriots in a snow game though.
That was magical.
Like in a clutch, like one of the most clutch, because that game was to determine, like it settled itself out because it ended up determining home field advantage when you guys played them in the playoffs.
Yep, because we had that win, and then the Miami Dolphins. Shout out the Dolphins. I can't tell you how many years like during that Peyton Manning era that they would like come in. They just like would beat the Patriots in the last week of the season and help us get the 1 seed. I think they did it like 3 times, and including in 2015 where we finished
miracle happened.
Yeah, we finished. We finished 12-4, and the Patriots, they were going into that game. They were 12-3. They just had the win, and they got home field, and the Dolphins beat them. And so we had same records, but virtue of the tiebreaker from that Brock Osweiler win, we got home field advantage, and that played a crucial role when they had to come in the Mile High, and that Von Miller DeMarcus Ware pass rush with the no fly zone.
Yeah,
sick, awesome game. No fly zone there actually at that Broncos game. This this Sunday. So they were getting appreciated. And then they had a military. Since we're on the NBR, we'll swing it over to they had a military branches relay race. So yeah, the Air Force,
cool.
Air Force, Army, Marines, Navy, and Space Force was there. And then a different member of the no-fly zone was the alumni captain. But it was like, yeah, so like four members from each branch had to, they did the run where you had to carry the two, like I think they're like 40-pound ammo buckets or whatever.
Oh yeah.
The run. I think you do like a 25-yard run of that, then sprint to the 50, where then you do an army crawl, then you got to run, army crawl to the 30, run to the 10, do a tire flip to the end zone, and then once you get to the end zone, it's a 100-yard sprint back.
Damn.
The Navy, their lead person was terrible, so they had them like, I'm sorry, Jimmy, like the Navy was out of it.
Were the Navy SEALs involved with this or no?
No.
Oh, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah, they had
Navy SEAls win everything.
Yeah. I think these might have just been like engineers or something.
Just regular ass people.
Yeah. Like the first girl that for the Navy when she went out, like I mean, on the 100-yard sprint, it looked like she was power walking. But Army was winning it for a lot, and then the guy got cocky and sprinting back, and the Air Force dude had a stunning sprint to catch up from him and like beat him by a photo finish. It was actually kind of lit. So Air Force won the relay race.
Cool.
Shout out Mile High. I'm never calling it anything else but that.
Yeah, it's Mile High. That's what it is. All right. Well, we've been going for a while. Why don't we do another quick break, and then when we come back, we'll get into some top plays and give a little breakdown on what happened in the world of college football. Some big losses and some major shakeups to the college football playoff that we'll have to discuss.
CU continues to control their own destiny. We love it.
Pretending now that I have been pinned up, and all I wanna do is just let it out now. I crave the stage and now I wanna see our name across the building. Here we go, one more time. One shot, let go. Let me be myself. Let me be
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
We are back. We are live. Military Broadcast Radio. Until the final whistle, boys. Monday Football Frenzy. All the NFL talk in that first segment. All the breakdowns. Nobody really cares about 3/4 of these teams that we talk about, and it's okay. Because it is a football frenzy. College football, a lot of upsets, some implications. BYU goes down, undefeated BYU, losing, getting upset by Kansas.
So
I mean, Kansas. First, they took last week. They
Big
took
12
down.
wide open.
Last week they took down undefeated Iowa State, or that I guess Iowa State wasn't undefeated anymore, but they handed them their second loss of the season, and now
Big 12
knocked down BYU. Makes me a little nervous for the Buffaloes. I got to go into Kansas. Now.
Yeah,
Gotta
that
go into
you
the
can't
lockdown,
overlook
boys.
that. And your last game of the season for the Buffaloes, I believe.
That's home
I
against
believe it's
Oklahoma State.
Yeah, so
That's tough.
yeah,
Man,
that's
BYU shot themselves in the foot though.
they did.
Did
They
you
played
see
bad.
the first touchdown that they allowed was on a little pooch punt? They would have started the Kansas drive inside their own territory. Instead, the punter kicks the ball and it hits the gunner in the side of his helmet, and it got recovered by Kansas.
It was Kansas came out
Kansas
like they were
punting.
gonna run a play on fourth down, and instead Dyson Daniels just pooch punted it.
Yeah, and it hit the
Or not
hit a DB right in the
not
side of the
Dyson
helmet.
Daniels, Jalen Daniels. Dyson Daniels is in the NBA. My bad. Yeah,
He's
he
looking
runs
up
a
right now, best defender right now, one of the best perimeter defenders.
yeah, you know, he's locking up. We'll talk about him on the Wednesday show though.
I've been
Yeah,
saving it up.
Jalen Daniels pooch punts it, and yeah, the BYU defender he just loses it, and it
Hit him right in the head.
bounces off of his ear hole. Gave Kansas an easy scoring possession, and then I don't know what the hell this decision was on third down or on fourth down when BYU they had to go for it. Game on the line, and Redsloff throws it 4 yards, like 4 or 5 yards short of the sticks to a guy that's double covered. And I'm like, what was the plan there? Even if he catches that, there are two defenders right there. He does catch it, but he's immediately tackled because there's two guys right there.
Were they trying to get a PI or something?
I,
Just like
I don't know. Like those guys were
playing.
they were playing off of him. Like he caught it and then they just exploded and crashed down on him because they were back guarding the sticks, and like he just telegraphed that he was going there. Kind of choked it in the big moment right there. I'm not sure what the decision was. Like you have to throw that ball past the sticks. I'm sorry.
It's got to
If
be
you're-
right
I mean-
at it or past it.
Yeah.
There's no other choice.
I mean, unless you see unless there's a ton of open space and it's one of your best guys in the open field, maybe I could
If
see
it's
throwing
like
it
that
short.
situation where you got to make one guy miss and you just give it to a playmaker, I see it.
Yeah, but I mean, you're throwing it to the guy that's running an in route with two linebackers in front of him sitting at the sticks. No kidding, he got stopped. Bad. Yeah. BYU, I think the Cinderella story might be coming to an end. They're really kind of showing a lot of vulnerabilities. After this game, I'm not very confident that this team, if they went into the playoffs, would survive going up against, a Big Ten or an SEC team.
No.
Even if they had home field advantage, they're probably losing it by 30.
it'd be
Oregon,
tough.
man, nearly lost. Came out of Camp Randall by the teeth of their
That one was
by the skin of their
close.
teeth. Yeah, 16-13. You guys kind of dismissed the Badgers on last Wednesday's show. I was telling you, this team, they've played some schools pretty tough. I know they got ran all over by Iowa just the week before, but
I think Alabama beat them by 40 fucking points, didn't they?
they beat them 42 to 10.
Yeah.
But Penn State, who eventually beat them by 15, they were hanging around with Penn State there for a while.
I don't think Penn State's all that good though.
That's true.
Yeah,
But
their offense stinks.
I mean, the
But
Ducks,
the Ohio
man,
State, the Oregon game, that's, is the Oregon Ducks looking at, where they kind of I don't know.
Yeah, maybe they.
I know the game's close.
Maybe they dismissed them.
Yeah. I mean, like, dude, they had a strength and conditioning coach as their offensive coordinator. I didn't even realize it. Paul Longo, long time Notre Dame strength and conditioning coach, offensive coordinator for Wisconsin. They just fired him.
Wow. Well,
like that's what you know what I mean. Like Wisconsin's not letting Luke Fickell do Luke Fickell things.
That's fair.
Cincinnati has more NIL money than Wisconsin. You're not going to win.
This really showed that the Oregon's defense can win them games though, because the offense looked bad, but that defense ended up coming away and getting the victory.
Yeah, 96 passing yards allowed.
Yeah, and Dan Lanning running a fake field goal on 4th and 6 when you could have kicked it to go up 19-13. Crazy move, but I do like that. It makes teams, it makes you very unpredictable. And now that's out there on film, that's always going to be in the back of every team's mind that, hey, they might do this, which I think you're seeing all these blocked kicks on game-winning tries. What's a great way to get the pass rush to ease up? Make them a little uncertain if there might be a fake field goal attempt. And then all of a sudden, they're not bull rushing you and trying to get to the ball.
Very true.
Very
true.
You know what, Oregon, if you want to win a national championship, there's going to be ugly games where you don't play well. You have to not let it get to you, and you got to find a way to win. And that's what they did here. Good on them.
Yeah, because they still dominated, even though it was a close game. Like 354 total yards.
Right.
Offense.
They were moving the ball. They just couldn't get it done in the red zone. What was their fourth down percentage? Because they failed on a number of fourth down tries too.
Let's check that here.
Just wasn't the greatest showing, but you know what? A win's a win. Move on to Washington next week, and look forward to the playoff. You should have a first round bye if you can take care of business against Washington.
Georgia beat Tennessee pretty good. Man, that game was wild.
Yeah, we got to talk about that one.
Yes, we
31-17 was the final. That game was like 17-10. Close, and then
it was
Georgia,
close for a while.
Pulled away at halftime.
They just kind of dominated them in the second half. Carson Beck, man, finally a decent performance against a top-ranked school. Protected the ball, no turnovers, 347 yards, 2 touchdowns. They really didn't have to rely on their run game all too much. It still came in pretty clutch for them though, and helped them out. But yeah, Georgia's dominated Tennessee, going all the way back to 2018 now.
The 8th seed right now in the standings.
Yeah,
and they got UMass and Georgia Tech to finish it out. So
I feel like Georgia
might have a road game, dude, going in.
I do think they have
playoff.
They might have punched their ticket though to the SEC championship.
I don't think so.
What
Texas A&M.
Are they both still just one conference loss?
Yeah.
But they got to play each other.
Right.
So one of those teams is going to lose. And it's like,
yeah.
They're going to have, so even if they
I thought that was Tennessee's first conference.
Even if they do,
they lost to Arkansas.
I forgot about that because I'm like, why wouldn't Tennessee? And then I have the standings right here. Yeah. So,
I mean,
that's going to knock them. Well,
if one of those teams has 2 conference losses and Georgia has 2 conference losses,
they do.
Who are you putting in the SEC championship? I mean, what are the tiebreakers there? I'd have to imagine Georgia would probably.
Well, they'd be so it would be a rematch of Texas. So I got this right here. So what would happen is Texas is 9-1. Texas A&M is 8-2. Excuse me. Georgia is 8-2. If Texas loses to Texas A&M, Texas and Texas A&M will play in the SEC championship game.
Wait. If who loses?
So if Texas loses in the regular season matchup to end the year against Texas A&M,
it won't change.
It's not going to change the rankings, and Texas A&M will play in the SEC championship game.
It'll just move Texas down 1.
Exactly.
And they'll just play again.
They'll play again.
So Georgia needs Texas A&M to lose.
Georgia needs Texas A&M to lose to Texas, and then Texas get a rematch. The SEC championship game.
Call me crazy, but
if we'll be playing that game for sure.
Call me crazy, but if I'm Texas, I might let if that's really
just
the case.
Throw it away.
I might let A&M beat me and then just go play them again the next week.
I would,
Because I mean, with how bad Georgia,
and that would be a neutral site game.
backed you up. Yeah,
It won't be like this game's in
won't-
College Station.
yeah, you're not going to be able to throw
To
water
end the year.
bottles on the field to get a call overturned. Like
You know,
that's
yeah.
Ooh.
So it's going to be in.
I, like with
Gonna
how
be
bad
interesting.
Georgia's front dominated.
Regardless,
Texas.
I think 5 teams out of the SEC are going to make it, and then 4 teams out of the Big Ten are going to make it, and then your group of 5 in Notre Dame. So that's basically in the ACC winner. So it's like there's 11, that's 12 right there. So it's Boise State, you know, group of 5, Big 12, SEC, Big 10. Yeah, dude, I just don't know if anybody outside of that. And then SMU, Clemson, SMU somehow dodges essentially everybody in the ACC. They're 9-1 right now, undefeated in the conference, 6-0, but they've all, they played UNC, Virginia, Virginia Tech, Boston College, Stanford, Cal, and Florida State. So they haven't,
SMU has.
yeah, they haven't played anybody.
Haven't they? Didn't they play Pitt?
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah, they did play Pitt.
Maybe. Yeah, I
He's
think
on
they.
a slide, dude. 7-3 now.
Yeah, they
Dropped all the way underneath Duke and Georgia.
They had a
Tech
lot of
in the
injuries, and
ACC.
their
Mhm.
defense really hasn't been all that good. But so it's like, the ACC winner, Big 12 winner, they're obviously, those teams are going to get the automatic 4 bids of winner, the SEC.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be
Big
tough
10.
to pick other teams out of those conferences to go in over a Big Ten.
Or an
School,
SEC,
or an
yeah,
SEC
like
school.
like Tennessee. How are you going to pick?
Right.
Oh, just say for instance, Penn State over. Are you going to pick Penn State over Tennessee in the?
I feel like Penn State will still probably make it, but it's
I
like
think so. Yeah.
even if they don't go to the Big Ten championship,
Oh, they're definitely.
they're still like in the top 5, aren't they? They're 10-1, 9-1, something like that.
right. Yeah, they're 9-1.
Their only
or so-
loss was a
or
7-point loss
6-1
against
in the
Ohio
conference.
State.
Indiana, Ohio State this
That's
weekend.
the-
Probably the
that's the
biggest
game of
of
the
the
week.
season
Yeah.
for sure.
I mean, it's time
This
for the
week-
Hoosiers to prove, like, are you the real? Is this the real deal?
First
I'm gonna have to have a
10-0
best
start
bet.
ever. Can they continue it?
I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to have a best bet on Wednesday.
Against
Preview
pretty
that
much
game.
the most dominant Big Ten team since the realignment when you add in Oregon.
Yeah, and even Oregon did. I don't
I mean, they looked very human.
Paper Tigers, Oregon. They just also, I don't know. Oregon plays anything close to an SEC schedule. They have 5 losses. I don't know if they have played anybody that has any type of physicality.
Ohio State. I don't think.
But and even them, it's like,
Yeah.
are you like?
Even
I mean, the winner of the national championship is coming out of the SEC.
so.
That's just what it is. It's either Texas or Georgia.
They
They have the 2 most physical teams. They have the 2 most explosive offenses. They can control the game. They're the best head coach. It's the winner. It's the winner of those 2 teams, in my opinion. And maybe Oregon, because if they finish as a 1 seed, they're gonna have the easiest path.
For sure.
They're gonna have the easiest path. They're gonna play a 5 seed and like the winner of the first round. Notre Dame. They're gonna play Notre Dame in the first round. Maybe.
Well, they'll
Yeah.
get the first
No,
round.
they'll have
bye
a
if they
bye.
win.
Right, that's
so
what I mean. Like, so,
I
like
think-
Notre Dame has they're gonna have one of the first round playoff games. So like Notre Dame, Boise State, like so what Oregon's gonna
Yeah,
I
I think they get the winner of like the 5-12 game.
the win. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll be
if
the
I'm
5. It'll be
correctly.
the 5 seed.
Probably. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that'll probably be Notre Dame.
Right now, it's
right now-
BYU is at the 12, and
Yeah.
Boise's not even in it.
I think they'll get in the at large group of 5 bid.
Yeah. It'd be hard
Because
to
you
not
can't.
put
You're
Boise
not.
in there.
You're gonna put Austin
Their
Jenkins.
only loss was to Oregon and Eugene by 3 points.
Right. And then I don't know. Like, is Texas A&M going to be ranked in the top 12 if they lose to Texas in the end of the season? So I think that's what they're
They could
banking
get-
on.
they could
Because
get
I mean, they
knocked
had
out.
Georgia. They had Georgia as like a ranked 13th
Mhm.
going into the Tennessee game. They had them out of the. And it's like, oh well, I think there's a way that they're going to put. I think there's a way that they're going to put Boise State in it. I don't see them leaving Boise State out.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, with a potential Heisman candidate.
If the decision is
They could
Boise
leave.
State, Penn State for the last playoff spot, what are we even talking about?
That's
Because
fair.
it could come down to that.
I'd really rather see Boise
see
than Penn State.
Everybody in
Ashton-
America would rather see that.
The Ashton Genty Legacy game in Beaver Stadium.
Yeah.
That would be
Nuts.
amazing.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to have to win a game. So like they'll probably play like I said in that picture a while back. Like this could Notre Dame playing on the road against Boise State, tough game. Whoever plays that is going to go play Oregon. Like, okay, thank you, Oregon. Like, thank you, College Football Playoff Committee. This is an easy win for them, I think. I don't think Boise State can compete.
The one problem for Boise State, UNLV's heating back up, and they want another shot at them in the Mountain West Championship. From what you hear from UNLV, they're pretty upset with how they lost that game, and they're looking for an opportunity to take.
Right now, it's Colorado State. Right now, they're playing Colorado State in the Mountain West Championship.
Who Boise is? Yeah, because CSU
they're undefeated in the conference.
Yeah, they did pretty bad in out of conference play, but they've been taking care of their Mountain West opponents.
Ooh, Wyoming, man, come on, man. My guy Keone Parks, shout out Keone Parks, family friend from back home in Chicago, made it out. Tough year for the Wyoming Cowboys, 2-8 on the season.
Yeah, long removed from the days of Josh Allen.
No kidding. I watched that dude in a snowstorm at the Mile High Showdown against CSU in Mile High Stadium. He went like 440 with like 4 touchdowns in a blizzard, dude. It was like one of those like bomb cyclone things that just came ripping through Denver. It was like sunny in the first half, second half. It's gusting 50. Blizzard conditions, and this dude's chucking the ball all over the place. Fans were going nuts, dude. It was awesome.
This game didn't really have a lot of playoff implication, but the South Carolina Missouri game
was a good game.
A show.
That was a good game.
That was incredible. There was Missouri or South Carolina, they're controlling the game for most of it. Then Brady Cook comes storming back. They take the lead, and then there were like 4 lead changes in the last 5 minutes of that game. It was Missouri gets the comeback, and then all of a sudden it's just back and forth. Each team's just going down and scoring. Ultimately, South Carolina came out on top. I don't think either of those teams really had a shot at the playoff. Maybe where's South Carolina ranking after this win?
Let me go
see.
I mean, South Carolina kind of sucks, though.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's.
I just want to see, like, would they even have like maybe a shot of being considered?
Oh, for the playoff,
they have 3 losses already.
Oh yeah, no way. Yeah.
Isn't there something that disqualifies you if you have more than like 3 losses? Like it's like 2 lost teams and under.
Yeah.
Have to get in. Okay.
Yeah, Colorado 36% chance of getting in.
Right.
Boise State has an 87% chance of making the college football playoff.
CU Buffs, they put up 49 on the best defense in the Big 12. Best ranked defense.
Miami, Tennessee, both at 66%. Notre Dame pretty much locked in. Oregon locked in. Indiana still has somehow a 97% shot.
I'm just scared for CU because they love to choke games away.
But
I'm not gonna lie, they won 49. It was 49-27. They won,
but it was close in the first half.
Yeah, it was 27-34 before the end of the game.
Yeah,
the CU they can't run the ball on 3rd down. They're going. They go empty 5 wide on 3rd and 2.
Yeah,
interesting.
And like, there's a lot of plays like that one. They did a pretty much a little flea flicker to Travis Hunter, and Shedeur was running like a little Philly special route, and it got blown up. They were all over it, and Hunter pretty much ran like 5 yards back and ends up rushing this one in for like 10 yards. That doesn't happen against SEC defense in the college football playoff.
No,
that's going to get blown up before you even get to the numbers.
They do got to figure out how to run the ball more consistently because Shedeur could be in for a rough go if he has to drop back and throw it 50 times against a Tennessee or a Georgia.
Because their pass rush is just as good as their run defense.
4 touchdowns against anybody good.
He's going to be running for his life. Like this is going to be a very hard playoff run if
they don't have an offensive line.
No,
right. I mean, they got
congratulations, you made it in. Your consolation prize is you're going to go get blown out by Boise State.
Yeah, they got like
Austin Genty's going off on that D line. Shedeur's not going to be on the field.
Mm-hmm.
That would be bad. That would be the worst case scenario for a first round game.
Colorado versus Miami in the first round.
If they win the Big 12,
that's even worse.
If Colorado wins the Big 12 championship, they get a first round bye though. Right? It's the Power Fours that get the
Well, BYU.
I don't
lost,
know. I don't know if they'd be.
so-
Yeah, I just don't know how they're going to do that because they haven't even really said, and this is where the committee kind of screws up, and where the BCS at least had a little bit more. I don't think that just because you win your conference, you're automatically top 4.
Well,
Yeah,
I
'cause
mean,
BYU
obviously, I just
lost.
Because
thought
they
that-
were
thought they were gonna
because
do it.
if they were saying Miami could win the ACC and be a 6 seed.
Really okay.
That was
So-
when BYU was undefeated.
Yeah, all right.
though.
Well, then I don't think Colorado gets to be.
I don't think how it was with like the normal cup when it was only a 14 playoff. Obviously, all you had was your 4 conferences, so there's your 4 teams. You know, either the Pac-12 or the Big 12 was getting screwed.
If BYU stayed undefeated, CU could have made a run for the 4 seed. Because when BYU was 9-0, 9-0, they were ranked at the 4. Just if the season ended when they were 9-0, they would have been 4th.
See, and that's another thing that I heard from Kirk Herbstreit on College Football Saturday with Pat McAfee. Throw these AP rankings out the window. It only matters what they say on Tuesdays. So like, oh, this team's ranked here, and then this, and then that. It's like, well, the College Football Playoff Committee just showed you with Georgia being knocked out of the top 12 altogether, and then winning against Tennessee. All of a sudden, you're back in the top 6.
Yeah,
or top 8. So it's like, I mean, okay, you know, Colorado, congratulations, you won the Big 12. You're going to be at home against Georgia. You know, because I mean, if you win your conference, you'll have a home game in the first round. Whether or not you're a top 4 seed, that's left to be determined just by basically Condoleezza Rice and then whatever College Football Playoff Committee people are on that board.
And you know what? The team
And
to
who
watch out
knows
for in
what
the Big
these people
12.
want anymore at this
right,
point.
Yeah. Team to watch out for in
Kirby
the Big
Smart
12.
said it very good.
Arizona State. Actually, they could come out
outside
of nowhere.
shot, but
I mean,
they need
they
they
can-
need a tie.
They
Like
just need to.
Kansas State at the end of the year or some.
They just need
this
to
is where
be.
it shakes
No, they
up.
just need to beat BYU.
They
This
play
weekend.
BYU this weekend.
They're
So
third in the conference.
Big 12 championship could just be CU versus Arizona State.
I mean, Arizona State went into Manhattan, Kansas, played KSU, and beat them by 10 points.
Yep.
Shut
I
them
don't know.
down.
I don't know if Kansas State's all that good though.
They're
No,
not.
that's true.
They're not.
You know what I mean?
But I mean, the
just don't know.
BYU
Like,
look all
BYU
that
is a
good.
different level than Kansas State. They at least have an offensive line that can frickin' block somebody. They have a running game that can at least threaten you. Like they play solid football, and that game's going to be in BYU.
No, it's in Arizona State.
Oh man, okay.
They
Hey,
there
we're
is a
here for
chance-
carnage and chaos.
chaos. I'm
That's
just
what I
saying.
mean. Like we're all for. I'm just pulling for Colorado. You know,
Yeah.
I'm kind of just. I don't really care about anybody else because for Colorado and the Buffs, win out, you're in. It doesn't matter. So
Control your
it's
own
like you
destiny.
control your own destiny. You know, I don't care about Iowa. I don't care about Arizona State, Iowa State, BYU, Manhattan,
Worry
Little
about
Apple. Doesn't
winning the
matter.
damn game.
Win out.
So
Worry
Arizona
about winning.
State, they did beat an SEC team earlier in the year.
Yeah,
It was
they beat
Mississippi
Kentucky.
State.
Mississippi State.
Still an SEC school,
Yeah,
nothing
it's
to
an
scoff
SEC
on.
yeah, they're,
Scoff
you
at.
know, yeah. I think Mississippi State has like 2 wins this year, 3 wins this year. I can't remember.
Yeah,
It
they're
doesn't
not
matter.
very good.
It doesn't
We were
matter.
3.
I'm just
Yeah.
trolling.
Yeah, we could see a Big 12 championship.
Like
of
BYU, man, they
Arizona
looked like they
State
were in
versus
firm
Colorado.
control, and now all of a sudden
That
they
game
could be
would be
missing it.
home in Colorado if Arizona State beats BYU too. In the the Big 12 championships is always a third party.
Yeah, it's at
Yeah.
Jerry World.
It's at Jerry World. Oh man, that kind of stinks, honestly.
And that's really only because Texas was dominating the Big 12 before they went to the SEC. So they were kind
Yeah,
of
they
just
took
like,
it
here's a
away.
home game. You guys are going to win this conference every year. So might as well just have this one.
Well, we have about 427 top plays
We
in here.
have a stack.
We got a lot.
We definitely
It's a great
have to
weekend of
get, we
football.
have to get to some of these dudes.
Yeah.
We don't have that much time.
Drop some college football playoff predictions in the comments. We'll put them up on screen if you got
Notre
any.
Dame's going all the way, baby. The Fighting Freemans. Let's go.
They're getting
CU
some
Cinderella
passing
run.
game
I
opened up,
believe.
man.
They stink.
They're looking a little
They
bit better, though.
stink, caveman. We're gonna
You
get
guys-
blown out in the first round by anybody that's good.
If you guys can get a passing game going, I can't think of a Notre
They
Dame
got a
team
really
that
good
doesn't win in
defense. That
physicality.
defense is sick though.
I can't
It's
think.
sick against Stanford, brother.
Against Virginia. Yeah.
It's sick against Navy. We're gonna play Georgia and lose by 45 points. We're gonna go into Boise State and Austin Genty's gonna have 3-4 touchdowns. 2 of them will be on screen pass. We can't stop the screen.
You guys,
We
are
stink.
good.
We stink,
with your running
caveman.
offense, though. If Riley Leonard in these next 2 weeks, if they can figure something out,
Newsflash.
works.
He doesn't.
If they could. But if they could. There's
If.
Notre Dame teams are very known for winning in the physicality battle. And they run the
that's
ball
true.
well.
We do.
And y'all control the clock
Jeremiah
very
Love's
well.
a beast, dude. He's only a sophomore, too. That kid's going to be. Dude, he has 7 touchdowns this year of 40 yards or more. 7. He has 15 touchdowns on the.
explosive.
Jeremiah Love is a beast, bro.
That's a young guy, too.
Top
But you
Freeman,
have
top
gotta
3 back in
decommit from
college.
Ohio
Riley
State.
Leonard to be
Hey,
a game manager.
Dude, he got Jim
That's
Tressel
it.
in Notre Dame gear. Because Jim Tressel coached
Yep.
our coach at Ohio State during all those Maurice Claret years.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you're not wrong. I'm not buying. I'm not going to do it. Riley Leonard stinks. Not a good quarterback. Can't throw it on time. And he needs a wide open guy versus like NC State to like complete one pass more than 25 yards. All right, what are we talking about? It's either tight end or some gimmick crap or Jeremiah Love up the middle for 45 yards. That's not going to work against a good. Notre Dame plays Miami in like, you know, one of those like second round, maybe a first round game, maybe depending on how the ACC shakes out.
Yeah.
Cam Ward's going for 450 and 4 touchdowns on Notre Dame. I don't know what anybody wants to see. Anyway, we got some top plays here. I'm gonna get off my Notre Dame soapbox. We don't have that much time left.
Let's jump into it. Top plays,
Top plays
of the week.
With Pardo in motion. Takes the snap, rolls right, looks right, nobody open. Olsen guns it, and it's tipped and caught! Caught by the Blue Devils!
We're out here. We're still giving some love
What's
to the
up, Brian?
craziness in
My
college
cousin Brian.
football, Division II. Crazy 2-point winning conversion. Got Brian joining.
Shout out,
in.
Brian.
That's my cousin right there.
Hey, Brian, stay hydrated, brother.
Anything like that before. Look at the pick.
What an individual effort from Trey Bradford. Makes the interception, wants to take the house call.
Oh, I hope he's all right. But
Gets hung up, but how about the awareness? He's got a teammate right next to him.
That's how you do
That's
it. I love
high
it.
football IQ.
I love it.
You need to send us some of your high school football plays for some top plays, Brian.
We'll put it on here.
We'll
we
throw
gotta
it in.
find. We gotta find the
We got a big man
submission
interception.
box.
We got a big
Top
man.
plays.
Yeah, I would love to do
That'd be
that.
sick.
That would be sick. We got to figure that out. Big man interception. We are here, and we are equal opportunity
Love it.
interceptions at
We
till the
love 'em.
final whistle.
The throw on second down. Lock batted down. Picked off! Mateo Uiagalelei seals the deal and keeps Oregon undefeated.
If they wore the highlighter yellow unis, they score 57 points. Let's just be honest.
They
They're a
always seem
different
to
type of
score
team, man.
crazy.
When they
points
got
have
those
the
yellow
weirdest
unis on, they score 70 on everybody. I don't care. who
weirdest
you are.
jerseys.
They really
They'll
are.
win.
They're elite. Love those jerseys.
Travis
Love
Hunter, elite,
Yeah.
brother.
I'll put the YouTube
This guy.
channel up real quick, Brian.
that. Oh yeah. Give it-
Travis Hunter, insane catch. Top
Just
plays
unreal.
of the week.
Guns it. Sanders in a pocket. Oh, what a catch. Travis Hunter. Give him the Heisman now. In double coverage.
Listen to Gus Johnson. His odds went from like minus 150 to like minus 240
He was
after that game.
After that game.
Like first player in like 50 years to have a touchdown pass and an interception in the same game, or catch a touchdown and have an interception in the same game.
Shout
he did
out-
also give up his first allowed touchdown of the year, but I mean,
Hasn't really had to do much.
I don't think we have it in here, but you have to like the throw here. I mean, it was perfect coverage by
Great
Hunter.
throw. Yeah.
Just better,
Brian.
better pass. You know, that was an absolute dot. Got the
Thanks,
YouTube
Brian.
channel. in the
Appreciate it, brother.
comments.
I'll send it to you on Messenger if you can't find it after the show. I'll
What's our
send you
next
the
play
link.
up here, Jimmy?
Well, shout out Williams Bryce Stadium, dude. I saw this. Stadium was rocking in South Carolina.
He's made some big plays downfield. Got a small defender on him. Shovel pass Sanders. Rocket Sanders dances to the 5. And he punishes his way into the end zone. South Carolina back in front. The building is literally shaking.
For Rocket Sanders, look at his double team, pushing Williams all the way back, and then it's just all
Rocket Sanders breaking 1, 2, 3, 4 tackles, 230-pound bowling ball into the end zone.
Once he got that space,
Having a blast.
That
They're having a blast.
angry run candidate, man. He
was
broke that
bouncing
first
off you.
tackle, and you're like, oh, no one's bringing this guy down. He's getting to the end zone.
He's scoring.
Bounced off of like
Boys,
5 dudes.
I think we have a catch of the
Insane.
year candidate.
We might check
Be
this.
a free play, too. And Coleman! What? Come on!
I thought that hand kind of came out of bounds there.
I think he got a cheek in.
Did he get a cheek
got
in?
this
Is he
one.
double,
Or like
is he double cheeked up in the end zone? I'm gonna watch this one more time, boys.
Be a free play, too. And Coleman! What? Come on!
Hand hit first.
That hand hit
Ooh,
first.
that's
That
That's
hand
out of
hit
bounds.
first.
They might have messed up.
Jimmy covers without his glasses, boys.
They
and I
gave him
saw
a
it.
touchdown on that one.
They
think
did.
Wow.
It's tough
Great
to see.
catch.
I think
That was a
like
snag.
he-
That was a snag.
I think like the top of his big toe might have dragged on the ground too, and they said that was enough.
That's very close right there.
It's close.
But I mean, it is Auburn.
What do
versus
you guys
whoever.
think? Catch or no catch? Let us know.
Yeah.
Who
Drop
are
a
they
comment.
playing? Auburn versus Mercer. Alabama played.
They were
Yeah.
playing UL Monroe, I think.
Yeah. Come on.
General Booty.
tune up-
Oh
Fucking
man.
Auburn.
Tune-up game for Auburn.
Wester couldn't be stopped. Is this a typo? I'm not sure. We'll find out.
Bomeister, and this one returned. Wester straight ahead. Wester with a lead! Wester, 76 yards, touchdown, Buffalo.
Perfect voice to have on that.
Dude,
game.
I love Gus
It
Johnson.
hyped it up
dude.
so much more.
Amazing.
I loved Gus Johnson. Shout out Gus Johnson.
We need him on more CU games.
Saquon Barkley,
Back end.
absolute stud. I mean, like offensive player of the year. I mean, I don't know. He might be in there for offensive player of
Gotta
the year
consider
candidate.
him.
I mean, I know running backs can't win MVP awards, but if you could give an MVP award to somebody that's a non-quarterback,
Like
He's
this
a
play
team
here.
just
player
off that split leg highlight, that MVP, like
Team Player Award. That's what he should get for giving
that's
away
got to
all of
be
his
that's got to
touchdowns.
be that's got to be the best play.
This play here, just to set it up. Don't blink or you're gonna miss it. Just how quickly he makes this jump cut, then he hits the hole and he's just gone. I mean, it's the purest like ball carrier vision you've ever seen. And just
Down by 9 now in the battle for first place. Barkley! Does he have another one? Yes, he does. Touchdown. 39 yards for the touchdown.
Saquon Barkley getting the GM of the New York Giants fired.
I know-
single-handedly right now.
I know Saquon makes it look easy, but like the quickness with that like jump
Yeah.
cut.
That
I
was
mean,
a
when he does
cutback,
it
too.
looks it looks like
Going
flawless.
He's finally playing with an offensive line and a system that knows how to
Yeah.
get him the ball in space. I don't know.
Dude, all the he's
Foreign
like,
concept.
he's like
Whoa.
running for
They
150 yards
created a
game.
gap.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
And he's running on grass and he's not running on that crappy MetLife turf. No big deal.
Exactly. Give this guy a good line.
Justin Herbert, Chase Burrow, or Joe Burrow and Justin Hunter. Or I can't talk right now. Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow going back and forth yesterday. We got a couple of top plays from
This was
those
a
two
nice
guys.
game last night.
We're moving on over to the NFL. Some top plays in the NFL from yesterday.
Play action. In the middle is caught for the touchdown. Will Disley. Known as a blocking tight end during his years in Seattle.
Absolute
Known as a
dime.
blocking tight end.
That's a dime.
Dude,
That was
Burrow
nice
and Herbert
dime.
were dropping some dimes.
Yeah,
It's only
we got
the
another
second
one here.
matchup we've gotten between these guys, and like, I'm all for it. Guys
Bring us
came out in
more.
the same draft. It was the
Yeah.
COVID draft.
It was.
They were at home
Yeah.
watching their names get announced on Skype or Zoom, whatever.
And
it
like,
was.
and freaking, what's his name? Had like the bowl of M&Ms next to him. Like, what are we talking? Like, what are we doing, dude?
Goodell looked
a,
like he
Just
a
getting-
massive bowl of M&Ms.
Like-
It's kind of like a comical amount.
And they
of
were
M&Ms.
half empty by the time the first round was over.
Goodell, and you could really see Goodell's alcoholism coming out. You're like, man was
Yeah.
left. He was left at
He was
home
red
alone
in the
next to his
face.
liquor
Yeah.
cabinet.
Yeah.
He was pouring himself up some
was,
Jack
yeah.
and Cokes.
And they were
all
supposed
night.
to have it at the LA, in Vegas for the first time. They were going to be bringing the guys out on those little boats out in the Bellagio fountain. That was going to be sick. I saw some of the videos, and then COVID obviously ruined it, but
They had it really hyped up for that draft.
they did.
There were so many big names going into it.
Tua was also in that draft. I remember that.
T. Higgins had a really long touchdown dime
Who's-
from Joe Burrow. We got a Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow, dude. Those best quarterback wide receiver combo.
The connection goes all the way back to college.
Right.
I'll tell you,
Yep. And it's
unreal.
crazy. They also had Justin Jefferson, wide receiver, too, on that team. That's nuts. Let's
Yeah.
check out this top play, though.
See Chase go all the way across. Two guys are going to cover him. And then on the back end, Joe Burrow is going to give his guy. And so here he comes out there. All right, he sees him. Yeah, you go that way, go that way. I got you. Here we go. And they have done it.
Pay that guy. I don't know
They
what they're
need
going to
to.
pay him. They're going to have to give him half
They-
the city of Cincinnati. And
They should have paid him at the beginning of the season.
I agree. And they should have traded T. Higgins.
He's
so
leading
they're
the
not
league in
paying him a
receiving
franchise
yards
tag.
and receiving touchdowns, and he's still doesn't have a contract. Oh, you messed up, Cincinnati. You're gonna have to give him the keys to the city, a mayoral position.
He needs
Fun
enough
fact.
money to
Wipe out
have a
all of his
different set
parking
of grills
tickets.
for every game, so that when he scores, he can do the same celebration with a different set of grills. They need to give him that much money
Yeah.
because that's not cheap right there.
Fun,
That is a
fun fact,
full
caveman.
face of diamonds.
Fun fact. Justin Herbert, pretty good. Yep.
Mhm.
Joe Burrow, pretty good.
Yep.
Jordan Love throws bombs all over the field. Guess who has the longest touchdown pass in the last 22 years of the NFL? Will
Levis.
Right.
The better pass rushers in the league going to work on third down.
Levis taking a shot. He's got Westbrook Akine breaking free. And the Tennessee Titans right back in it. 98 yards.
Eric's just been letting me down in fantasy this year, and I was like, man, freaking Nick Westbrook Akine has got more receiving touchdowns than Tyreek Hill. Then 5 minutes later, Levis hits
Has
him
with a
hits that
99
play.
yarder.
Longest play from scrimmage this year. Yeah.
Oh,
like,
yeah, by far.
the
yeah.
longest pass play we've seen
in 22 years.
I don't think anybody's got a longer
22
one than
years.
that, because like all the 99-yard touchdowns, those were run plays.
Run plays.
So
yeah.
you think longest pass
Yeah.
plays in NFL history?
Check it off your bingo card,
Right.
boys. Will Levis with the longest touchdown
Will
pass of
freaking
the season
Levis,
this year.
man.
And then
It's
number
crazy.
2 spot, Sam Darnold. He threw 97.
Yeah, he
yards
did.
just a few weeks earlier.
You know, who I'm happy to see bounce back after being battling some injuries over there in Baltimore. J.K. Dobbins, dude.
What
Just
a great
come,
story for this
dude.
guy.
Harbaugh and coaching. We say coaching matters. This is exactly what we're talking about. You remember the Chargers last year? Just beleaguered and demoralized with their head coach, playing with some spunk and personality. Like they have some character about them. Justin Herbert leading the way. J.K. Dobbins. This has been an unsung hero for this Chargers team.
In front of J.K. Dobbins. Runs left. Dobbins takes off. Dobbins inside the 10. Dobbins to the end zone. In for the touchdown. And the Chargers take the lead.
In this freaking game.
Like go down.
You don't
and get a
be
touchdown.
you if you play conservative, what happens in Chicago happens in Chicago.
Right. It's a tied game.
It's a tied game. You go for the freaking win, dude.
Go for the touchdown.
30 seconds left with a timeout. Are we going to be conservative and just kneel it out and run the clock down, kick a field goal? Even though they have a legitimate field goal kicker who can easily make a chip shot
Oh, yeah.
field goal.
Cameron Dicker's really good.
Dicker the
Good
kicker's the
kicker,
man.
man.
Shout out Dicker. Don't blame it. Stokely can't sue us this time.
That's his
That's
name,
the guy's
man.
name.
That's the
Don't-
name.
But dude, like being aggressive, hand it off, get him in
Yeah.
space, touchdown, game's over.
And I like Dobbins
Demoralization.
not going down. Like score. It's a tie game.
It's
Just
a
score.
score.
There's less than 30 seconds left.
It's yeah,
now you're just
literally
making it harder because they have to score 7 instead of 3.
with no timeouts.
Yeah, like I respect it. We see all the blocked kicks. Like, don't even though it'd be a chip shot, it's probably less likely to get blocked. Doesn't matter. Just get the touchdown.
Friends, how many of us have them?
The power of friendship.
Friends,
This is the best clip HG
how many of us have them?
play of the day for
Friends.
the Broncos.
Dude, everyone during when this play happened. We're all
picked
laughing.
him up
We're like,
off
this is
so crazy.
You're like, that was the greatest touchdown. Yeah, dude, Javonte was literally just getting carried.
You can see his feet dangling.
His feet were
in the pile.
dangling here. Come check this out.
2nd and 4. Another opening for Williams. Williams with the power at the end of the run. Driving to the 2, pushing to the 1, and all the way in for a Denver touchdown.
Dude,
Letting your O-line just
O-line
push
can
in
just
there.
you have all the momentum
Oh,
going that way too. Oh, it's the best, dude.
Because honestly,
The best.
decent tackle by Simmons.
Yeah, he met him.
Good
Like-
open field move by Javonte there at
Yeah.
the second level to get really
Mhm.
free to score that touchdown.
The Falcons defense did not rally fast enough. They let Javonte keep driving, keep his forward momentum a little bit. The offensive line gets there. And yeah, they just pick him up and carry him into the end zone. Love to see it. That was just one of the many amazing moments from this
I
game
love it.
here.
I love it. Boys, I love it. It's so easy being a Packers fan because the Chicago Bears make it so easy. Chicago, don't get used to this.
That was an absolute kill shot by Jones. Boom on Williams. Spring Swift. I mean, this is what the Windy City needs. That type of power, physicality.
Made a move on my boy McKinney and dropped him. And that Braxton Jones, beleaguered left tackle for the Chicago Bears. They've been trying to run this guy out of town for the last 2 years now. You know, they're like, oh, he always trips over his feet. He has like the most holding calls in the NFL the last 2 years. You know, they're like, oh, this guy, oh yeah, he was awful last year, dude. Like they benched him 3 times for Nate Davis at left tackle last year.
Yeah, I mean, I know he's
that's how bad he was.
I know he's a giant human being, but
Yeah,
like,
it was big.
Just being big doesn't make you a good defensive
Yeah.
lineman. You you still got to have some athleticism, and your technique has to be good.
And after that play, they go up 5. Bear fans with some hope.
Yeah,
With some hope.
And Swift,
Their head coach, you saw Harbaugh with Eckler, or with J.K. Dobbins there, at the end of the game, being aggressive, running the ball in to score a touchdown. You have the Packers on the ropes, a rival that you haven't beaten in 10 consecutive games. This is why you don't get used to being in the lead, Chicago, because this happens.
And it's blocked! Oh my goodness, the Packers block it, and they're going to win! Green Bay survives!
I love it.
Back-to-back
It's
weeks,
awesome.
we saw a team.
It's so good.
Yeah, and they came
I love
right
it.
up the middle. I mean, they just went straight through the middle.
And
to block that.
what was told about in the post game, if they 35 seconds with a timeout, we need to preface that. If they move the ball to the middle and take a knee, we weren't going to be able to line up the way that we were heavy loaded on one side and collapse down sideways. And when you're lined up in the middle, your center can't have anybody come across his face. And when you're on a hash mark, you can come across the guard's face off that hash mark. And if your center gets blown up, that's just what happens. But if you're in the middle of the field, you can't cross the face of the guard. You have to just play it straight up.
Mhm.
You run the ball in the middle of the field, then run the clock out, then call your timeout, set yourself up maybe for a 40-yard field goal instead of a 47-yard field goal, maybe something easier, or I don't know, be aggressive and go for the end zone one time because you have a fucking timeout. You can sue me that time, Stokely.
They could have
Chicago
kicked that field goal.
They
on
are
fourth down
clueless.
after taking some shots.
Boneheaded.
Bingo.
2 shots at the end zone. Run
Exactly.
it on third down. If you don't get it, kick the field goal on
You
fourth,
still have a timeout.
and then you win the game.
If you're taking shots to the end zone too, like that's going to.
And they had us on the ropes.
That's going to back
Yeah.
the Packers off.
They had
too.
us on the ropes.
Then you give it a run. Swift was having himself a decent game.
This is Jerry Judy's first catch of 2024. There's no way. This is a typo. They're messing with
I'm
me.
just trolling that.
Oh,
but
okay, all right.
It seems like it is.
You're probably not right. It could be.
This is his best game in 2024. He went absolutely off.
He did.
This
And
was a good play
21-point
though.
Loss.
This was a good play.
Winston steps up on first down. Now he throws wide open. It's Judy across midfield and still going. Jerry Judy inside the Saints 20. The 10 takes it all the way 89 yards for a Cleveland touchdown.
It does kind of seem like
It
his
does.
first catch of the year.
It really does.
Yeah.
You haven't heard a lot of Jerry Judy.
He hasn't done a
Cleveland.
lot. Nah.
Taysom Hill, caveman.
He
Good job,
cooked.
man. Good job, dude.
Was a chef.
Beleaguered
3
backup quarterback
touchdowns.
for the Green Bay Packers, Taysom Hill. We cut him to put him on our practice squad. No can do. Seattle Seahawks claim him outright. Give him like
he had
a
over 200 scrimmage yards in this game.
dude. You guys
He
gave him
was
like a
going
$400
crazy.
million contract, fully refundable or something crazy like that. Whatever it was.
We gave him a bag.
Yeah, for like 1 year, but 3 touchdowns today. Taysom Hill, MVP of this game.
Get him
for sure.
more involved. I think.
I agree, man.
I like.
It's just a different dynamic with him out on the field. Like
you don't
that.
even have
You
to
got to think twice when you're on defense.
Yeah.
No.
I
It
mean,
changes it up.
put him on the field a lot because like you're always like, is the ball going to this guy? And like move him into the backfield, line him up out wide. Like what is he gonna do? He could like if he's gonna get the ball, is he gonna throw it? Like it just keeps defenses off balance. I think it helped Kamara get some more space in the run game.
Oh,
too.
totally. Yeah, you're not playing with a
Exactly.
loaded 9-man
Yeah.
box 3/4 of the
I mean,
game.
nobody's really that scared of Carr throwing it down the field. They're scared of Kamara getting going.
Taysom Hill, 3 touchdowns. Let's watch it.
When Taysom is involved in everything. And that is what we've seen today. He picks up another first down. Still going. Taysom Hill with his 3rd touchdown today. Takes this one.
That's crazy.
Just a wide open. walking
Just
in the
bad
end zone.
defense by the Cleveland Browns, man.
Yeah.
But
Good
yeah, we
blocking,
really could shake up.
speed
some
around the edge.
defenses.
This was a
Good
great
shake.
catch. We talked about the Rams and Patriots game. Puka Nacua. I mean, the Rams are a wild card now, man. When they're healthy,
Yeah.
with
Dude,
Matt Stafford and that
Puka
coaching
and
staff.
Cooper Cup, those guys are tough as nails too.
You know,
man.
and then you have some of the young guys that got to play when they're out. Got that experience going into the second half of the season. Experience always plays dividends. Let's watch Puka Nacua coming back and really cementing the game. You know, diving for a touchdown here.
Fake it to Williams. Stafford floats it. Nakua reaching, diving, holding on. Touchdown, Los Angeles.
That ball did not
Yeah,
move at all. Dude. Like Nakua laid out fully, couldn't brace himself at all. And the way
Face mask to the ground always
dude,
feels good.
squeezing that ball. I mean, that thing
Great
might have
feeling.
popped if he squeezed it any harder. Heck of a
Stafford.
play by Nakua.
This was a dime right here. This was the dime by Matt Stafford that had everybody like on social
Dude.
started blowing up. This play went viral. It was like, oh, Matt Stafford's still a guy.
Stafford, back foot, slinging for Parkinson. What a throw, what a catch. Hopefully everybody's all right. Parkinson makes sure after securing the touchdown.
All right, like the guy said, off of his back foot, like this is a fadeaway.
Bloop, dropped
Jumper.
it in the bucket, dude.
Couldn't have. I mean, you
God.
couldn't have walked down there and handed it to him any better.
Yeah. Anthony
Incredible.
Richardson with a few highlights this year. This probably is.
This is the highlight.
I mean,
of
it's
year
the
for him.
highlight. I mean, Anthony Richardson, beleaguered quarterback for the
And
Indianapolis
really
Colts.
proved, hey, Sauce Gardner, the Jets do need to work on their tackling. You especially, bud.
Ooh, shots fired. Oh my gosh, dude. Oh my goodness.
I was looking at
Just taking
earlier this morning.
strays over here, man.
You know, the Jets.
But this was a good play though by Anthony Richardson.
Richardson keeps it himself, trying to get to the outside. Stiff arm on Clemens. Richardson takes it in. A bruising touchdown run for Anthony Richardson.
What if he was tired going into that?
He looked well rested on that run.
Yeah, he might have been tired after.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be doing that anymore.
No. Kyle Hamilton, shout out Notre Dame Fighting Irish. One of the guys for one of Freeman's biggest recruits when he first got to Notre Dame was Kyle Hamilton. This is my guy, dude. I love when he's on highlights. Dude, perfect spot for him to go play to with with Baltimore.
Faking. Wilson. Toss it to Harris. Has some space. Harris. Leaping. Brought down at the 35 by Kyle Hamilton. First time we've seen Pittsburgh get out a bit.
Over. That's like a 6'4"
Nah,
guy.
like first of all, you are not going to get enough speed to hurdle somebody. What are we doing here?
Yeah, true. Yeah,
Not,
Najee.
not one of the tallest and hardest hitting safeties in the league. Like, well, you got what you get, or you got what you deserve at the end of that run, getting buried in the ground like that.
TJ Watt, probably defensive player of the year so far.
Who's been better than
one of
this
the
guy?
most deserving.
I mean,
he's leading one of the best
He's
defenses,
always
if not
up
the
there,
best.
and then an injury happens, and everybody's like, "Oh, what if?" And I'm like, he's still the defensive player there.
Right.
Even with the injury, yeah.
One of the leaders in sacks.
Question:
Just
you taking Max Crosby over TJ Watt?
No.
I would.
Leave me TJ.
Hell. I like Max Crosby's motor. I like
Yeah.
how Max Crosby plays. TJ Watt, better player.
He's
Just
he
does
just
more.
terrifying.
Yeah.
Like
You
you're
can
like-
line him up anywhere. Like Max, you have to line him up against the
Right.
right tackle so he can go and he's not a left tackle going up against a left tackle guy. He's
He-
just not doing it.
TJ Watt. He just gives me like
So
sociopath
fast.
energy. Like
And he's so fast.
like he's like a crazy person. Like
IQ.
like Lawrence Taylor or
Yeah.
James Harrison type crazy, where you're like, this guy wants
he-
to kill me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
And he makes. I think
he
he's
makes
better,
the hard plays look very easy.
and he plays the
sometimes, too.
run better than
a lot of guys.
edge
That's
rushers.
why I would take him over Max Crosby.
Exactly.
Max Crosby gets sucked down in there. You can just run some, off tackle off of him, and you can run against Max Crosby. TJ Watt, he stays home. His IQ off the line of scrimmage, his play diagnosis. TJ, man, if he stays healthy, dude, definitely defensive player of the
It's
year.
long overdue. He deserves.
I think so, man. That's a-
Defensive player of
that's
the
a
year.
good way to
Long,
put it.
long overdue.
Yeah. Let's watch this.
2nd and 3 here for the Ravens. Blown up by Watts. Derrick Henry got crunched.
That's the guy. Like that tackle. If we watch that again, you're gonna watch that tackle kick down. He's supposed to kick out because that plays everybody else is going to the other side of the field. So that offensive lineman just missed a block.
2nd and 3 here for the Ravens. Blown up by Watts. Derrick Henry got crunched.
Gave him an easy chance, but like the speed that he just explodes into the backfield
Yeah.
there, and then that's Derrick Henry. I mean, like and
That's a big
Henry
dude.
stopped in his tracks. I mean, there was no motion when Watt got there, just crushed him like the biggest back in the NFL.
Matt is just he's smaller than JJ, but he is faster and just about as strong as JJ Watt.
Yeah.
Literally exactly what you could ask for from a defensive end.
What's this strip play here, Mercury? Stripped him for the interception.
Oh yeah, that's
is
same
this
game.
Oh
Check
yeah, they
this one out actually.
Yeah, just you gotta watch this. I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah, it's the weirdest interception I've ever
It's
seen.
wild.
Deep drop, timing route, drops it in the bucket, caught by Hill. Steelers fighting for the football, they come away with it. Play is whistled dead. The question, who's got it? He got the arm in there and then kept ripping at it.
And he was working it free as they were going down. That's the thing people have to keep in mind. Is the ball already starting to move before you go down? Watch him here as he's working it. And so he's working the ball before they hit the ground and takes it from him.
Down Pittsburgh.
And it looked like they got to play against Wilson, but he never gives up on it at the end.
Moving and he ripped it out.
I think that was a catch.
That's
and then
really
down
close
by
call.
contact.
Because
Because he had two hands on the ball over. And
yeah,
then
but as
brought
he's
it
trying
in.
to bring it in and secure it.
You don't need to do that for it to be a catch.
Well,
you can have it one handed doing anything you want.
Yeah.
He had the ball secured.
Even if he secured
I think
it,
he got
I
screwed on
think
that.
Spillane was, or not Spillane. What's that guy's name?
As soon as you hit the ground, plays over. He's down by
That's
contact.
Wilson.
Yeah. That was coming out. So even if it
He's down by
wasn't-
contact then.
like it was coming out before he hit the ground. It was like that guy had the arm in there tearing it out.
It was
And then they showed it at the end. It's like
That's
and he
when it
just ripped-
started to move. Because he
Yeah,
lost it with one hand, and he tried to bring it in, and that's when he lost the ball.
I think Baltimore got screwed on that one.
Well, we do so. I mean, the
That was kind of a
strength,
bad
though, with like one hand.
That was a good play
to
by
pull that ball
Yeah,
out too.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
like you're falling and just with one arm to like pull it out. And the guy got two. Whether you think he got screwed or not,
Like
what's
soon
your
as he-
guys'
soon-
opinion?
Yeah,
was that
As
a
soon as-
catch?
soon as he comes down and he was down by contact there. I mean, even if we just watch it just like the first, I won't show the whole the slow motion.
Deep drop, timing route, drops it in the bucket, caught by Hill. Steelers fighting for the football, they come away with it. Play is whistled dead. The question, who's got it? He got the arm in there and then kept ripping at it.
and he was working it free as they were going down. That's the thing people have to keep in mind. Is the ball already starting to move before you go down? Watch him here as he's working it. And so he's working the ball before they hit the ground and takes it from him.
First down, Pittsburgh.
And it looked like they got to play against Wilson, but he never gives up on it at the end.
That's down.
That's so close.
That's okay.
I think that just came down to the judgment of the replay officials.
I think so. Yeah.
It's. I mean, I can see why they're saying it was a fumble there too, or the interception rather. Well, so what do you guys think? Interception or down by contact?
One of my favorite ones. We always talk about it every week. There's always one big man interception, big man plays, big men always get a shout out until the final whistle. Big man interception. Let's watch.
On 2nd and 5, clean pocket, tipped in the air and intercepted. Jonathan Hankins, 12-year veteran, has that one fall down into his hands and brings a big smile to a guy who's done just about everything.
Showing off the vert there, big
like
fella,
it.
getting up there.
And then that interception, Geno Smith walking it off against the San Francisco 49ers on the road.
Under 20, Smith back to throw. Smith takes off. Geno Smith, end zone ahead. Touchdown Seattle. With 12 seconds, Geno Smith again puts the Seahawks on his back. And Seattle's got the lead.
Night.
Good night, San Francisco.
And good luck. Next top play, we're bringing it back slowly but surely. ESPN had it. We're continuing it. You got jacked up, and we are here for it. Brian Branch, elite hit. He smoked this guy. This was an awesome play. We are here for all the big hits until the final whistle.
It's 1st and 10 here after the touchdown run, and he's got his receiver. Big time catch, Ingram. Big time hit by Branch, who is emerging as
clean.
But that's like a 5'11" slot
I
corner
know.
hitting a tight end.
Yeah.
That's a tight end that he just lit up like that.
Good hands from Ingram though, coming across.
Good concentration, but
he helped his team lose by 40.
Yep.
Top play
46.
Top play of the week goes to Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills getting off the schneid, beating the Kansas City Chiefs. Yes, in the regular season. I know. They
It's
should have
all right.
gone before.
Get the zero
Go
off
to the
their
playoffs.
record.
I like it. Get the zero off the record. Josh Allen, aggressive on 4th down, needing it, uses his legs, scores a touchdown, beats the Kansas City Chiefs. Josh Allen with the dagger.
fakes left, now taken off. Gonna run for it. He got it, and there he goes inside the 10 to 5. Oh, the play of the year in the NFL.
And the implications, you kick a field goal on that 4th down, you give, Pat Mahomes plenty of time
I mean, how many times
to
have we seen
rip
them
your heart out again.
clutch? They always clutch up. They drive down. They'd score a touchdown.
Those
Not
are
give
some
you a
good
lot of
top
time.
plays this week, man. Those are some great top plays.
A lot happened
Elite.
this weekend.
It really did.
Matchups.
It's getting to that time of the year.
We're gonna have a lot.
We're
of
coming
top
up on
plays.
playoff
Cooking.
football. It's
We're cooking.
the final stretch of the
College
year, like,
football, man. It's conference championships.
It's bringing out the best
Love
of
it.
everybody.
Dude, we're going to have
Those playoff pushes.
when college football playoffs are starting and NFL football playoffs just start, wild card weekend, leading up into the last weekend of college football, there's going to be 7 consecutive days.
Awesome.
7 consecutive days with playoff football between college and NFL.
We'll be eating good.
It's
boys.
going to
We'll
be awesome.
eating good.
We're going to be eating the leftover ham from Christmas, hanging out. The top plays that, we're gonna need a whole new folder. We're gonna shut down StreamYard.
We're gonna
We're gonna
have to have.
We're gonna glitch something.
We're gonna have to have top play Tuesdays or something like it.
Yeah, dude. And especially when those matchups like from the 2nd and 3rd round, like going into like the last 2 weeks, like right before the Final Four, that to who's gonna make the Final Four in college football with wild card weekend. That's going to be absolutely insane, dude.
We need it.
It's going to be insane. I really can't wait for it. Because I think there's once the playoffs start, there's like a couple weeks until it starts, or does it? I can't remember if they announced like what the schedule is going to be for the first round, or if there's going to be like a bye week into the first round of the playoff.
I think it's. Do they usually
know what I
have
mean?
They usually have a couple weeks.
Because regular bowl games, they give them like a month. They have like
Yeah.
some crazy amount of practices that they have to do.
It's
before the bowl
the
game.
first round of the college football playoff starts December 21st and 22nd.
Okay, they might have like a week.
Yeah, so they might. Yeah,
They might give them like a little.
because if it's
bye.
oh man, dude, Christmas with college football playoff, dude. Oh my gosh.
Well, there's NFL
We're
games
spoiled.
on Christmas Day.
On Christmas Day, yeah.
So,
Dang.
which I think those are always a little bit better than the NBA Christmas games. There are some great NBA Christmas games, but these NFL ones, I mean, there's like a lot of playoff implications. You got a Houston, Baltimore, that's one of the games, and then
I know the
Kansas
Packers.
City and the Steelers got to play.
And the Packers play the Lions, I think, on Christmas.
So I'm just looking at the calendar here. So, yeah, maybe it was the 20th and the 21st, but that would be basically the weekend before Christmas. Christmas falling on a Wednesday, we'd have our first round of the college football playoff. I think it's probably the 20th and the 21st.
Yeah,
the
week 16.
The 22nd is a Sunday. I don't think they put college football playoff games on the same day as the NFL.
Sunday, December 22nd, Bears play Detroit. Oh man.
Oh boy.
Oh, dude, we play on the 23rd.
Oh.
That's the Saints game, ain't it?
Got the Saints
We play
on
the Saints
Monday?
on Monday Night Football in Lambeau. Yeah, bring that dome team outside on Christmas in Lambeau. Oh man,
Watch
It's gonna
out
be
for
a
Darren Rizzi and the
I'm kind of
boys.
worried. I hope Taysom Hill gets injured before that game because that could be a Taysom Hill revenge game, and he could go off on us for like
The Storm and Norman revenge
$175,
game.
$175 and 3 tuds against fucking Green Bay Packers.
Just hope he does that. the week
Beleaguered
before.
passing defense.
If he does that the week before, the next week after, we're just not going to give him the ball. It's like one of those situations.
Oh man, it's good. That's
So
gonna be
there's
a
week
good week.
18, January 5th. Be good to get the new year. Yeah, Green Bay, Chicago. That'll be a fun game. Always is playing Chicago. We got to wait to the end of the year for another one of these meltdowns from the Chicago Bears against.
Oh,
the
that's
Green
going
Bay
to be in
Packers.
Lambeau.
It's gonna be in Lambeau too.
Disaster.
It's
looming.
what's gonna happen. Close game in Chicago in Lambeau. We win by 5 touchdowns. It's just what's gonna happen. I mean, it's just what's gonna happen. I already know. We're gonna split with the Lions. We're gonna split with
The Bears
Vikings.
season's probably going to be over.
It's
at that
over.
point,
For
yeah.
sure. Yeah. I mean, it's already over in Chicago. If you ask them, this was their Super. They called it their Super Bowl. Beating the Packers are like this is the only thing that they want when they know that they're not going to make the playoffs. You fired your offensive coordinator. You're going to fire your head coach. It's just what's going to happen. So it's like, you're playing to beat the Packers.
It's like
you haven't beat the Packers in
Big Cat from Barstool.
2018.
Big Cat from Barstool, huge Bears fan.
Right.
He
I feel
interviewed
bad for
Aaron
him, man.
Rodgers one time, and it was pretty much like the Super
Yeah.
Bowl for Bears fans is watching the Packers inevitably lose
Losing
the
playoffs. Yeah.
Like they don't even care about the regulars. They don't even care about the season. They're just
Yeah.
waiting for Aaron Rodgers and the Packers
to lose. Yeah.
They're just waiting for that.
Yeah.
That's all. That's
And the
all
one
they can
Super
wait
Bowl
for.
that we won, we beat the Bears twice. Once to make it in the playoffs in a win-and-in situation. They could have kept us out. They could have kept us out. They stopped. Oh, what are you benching Jay Cutler for? What has he done where you're like, oh, got to bench this guy. Can't get him hurt. You need to play.
He was probably at risk of passing for 4,000.
Whatever. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, exactly.
They had to shut that down.
They had to
Yeah,
shut
we
it down.
can't. We got
We can't have this.
proud history of not
We
being.
can't
able to
have
throw the
somebody throw
football.
35 touchdowns. Dude, they haven't had somebody throw for 35 touchdowns in like 12 fucking years.
Yeah, it's bad.
Like never.
It's bad.
Like Mitch Trubisky got close. He threw 32 in 2018.
That's wild.
Crazy.
My
We still
Super
got 5
Bowl
minutes.
would be watching the Chiefs lose, and unfortunately, that just doesn't happen.
They
So
lost to Tampa Bay. They got blown out by Tampa Bay.
yeah, that was awesome.
It's like if you blitz Patrick Mahomes or something, it might work.
That was like bittersweet because it was like, oh yeah, I mean the Chiefs aren't going to win it, but Brady got the 7th ring. Like,
Yeah,
man,
that's
that was-
true. That's a good point.
It was tough to see.
San Fran, Arizona, last week of the season. They could determine the winner of that division, dude.
There are so many
And
huge
Tampa Bay, New
like
Orleans,
playoff type
Minnesota,
matchups coming up.
Detroit to end the year.
I mean, we're talking about the carnage and chaos of the college football playoff, but the NFL playoff
NFL is always
gonna
the end of
be
the last 3 weeks of the season.
insane.
It's always nuts, dude. It's always nuts. Something always happens. There's always something. Last 3 weeks of the season, you think a team is solidified. Last 3 weeks, they sort of like rust on those laurels, and the playoffs are coming up. 3 losses, and you're out.
Yeah.
And you're like, how?
Man,
the heck
sometimes
did-
it's just 1-2. Like
right?
Yeah.
Like you drop the wrong game against the wrong team. That kills you.
Yeah. Final thoughts, boys. What are we thinking? Who you got this week? Who you like? What are we doing? How was your weekend?
And Saints are gonna just win the bye week, move up to 5-7. I like it. And like we said, keep pushing. I want to see a 10-7 finish. That would just be artwork.
Keep pushing.
Darren Rizzi.
Keep dropping loads for the boy cave, man.
Come on now.
We'll be
Clogging
here
up
for it.
toilets in our $1 million facility. The toilets in there got to be like jets. How do you clog a toilet in a football stadium facility like that?
How'd your stadium lose power in the Super Bowl?
I don't know.
Who knows?
What
It's
was
the
up with
AC
that?
unit. You saw Hopkins miss all those field goals.
The AC
unit.
unit was the MVP of that game.
It was.
Man, Baltimore Ravens get the
Well, hey, college football, some matchups to keep an eye on. Not a ton of crazy ones in the top 25. We got Indiana, Ohio State, and then Army, Notre Dame. It's time for the
Neutral
Black
field.
Knights. Yeah, that's at Yankee Stadium. Time for the Black Knights, man. If you guys are the real deal.
Nice. They're
Time
playing
to
that at
prove it.
Yankee Stadium?
Yeah.
That's cool. It's near West Point.
Yeah, we had the Wrigley Field game last week too.
Yeah. I don't like Wrigley Field.
It's weird seeing a football field on a
Oh,
baseball
it's awful.
diamond.
It's awful.
It's so
It's the
strange.
worst thing in the
The
world.
Raiders, however long they had to do that. The
worst.
A stadium. You're out. Oh my God! Here's the infield at the
Worked okay out for Bo
50-yard
Jackson,
line.
but that's about it. That's about it.
Look, the Chiefs trap game for them next weekend. Maybe it's all the memes about Bryce Young beating the Chiefs. That's getting in my
Yeah.
head, but I don't know why. I'm just feeling like it's a trap game. The Panthers could shock Kansas City. It's in Carolina, too.
No, how are the Chiefs playing the Carolina Panthers?
Huh?
Do they play the AFC South this year?
The NFC South
They're
plays the AFC West this year. Yeah.
Okay, all right. I was like, how is that even possible? But when you got to do that, for the listeners out there, if you don't know, like top team in another division will never play the bottom team in another division in an uncommon division opponent. So if everybody in your division is playing this division, you're going to play them, but an uncommon division opponent, best team will never play the bottom team.
So
like the Bills.
also-
every other team has to play the Bills.
Got some very intriguing division matchups. A lot of division matchups next week to keep an eye on. Browns, Steelers on Thursday Night Football. We got
Sorry,
the
buddy.
Cowboys, Commanders, Dolphins, Patriots, Texans, Titans, Vikings, Bears, Broncos, Raiders.
Oh man,
Seahawks and Cardinals. Tons of division matchups next week. Those can always be interesting, even if another team's bad. Division opponents, a lot of hatred there. Could see some upsets like that. Some other intriguing games. Eagles, Rams on Sunday Night Football. We got the Packers and the 49ers.
Let's go Packers, baby.
And Monday Night Football, another doozy of a game. Ravens, Chargers. Going to be a good week of football next week. And
Be a
we'll be
great
back
week
next
of football.
Monday to cover it all on the Football Frenzy.
Tune in Wednesday till the final whistle, MBR, 8 to 10 in the morning. Good night and good luck. We'll be back. Bear Sting. Go Pack.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.